Good evening, everyone. Welcome to November 12th, City of Citrus Heights City Council meeting. I think we'll just call roll call and do a quorum first.
Councilmember Middleton,
Present.
Councilmember Nelson,
Present.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Here.
Vice Mayor Lopez Taft.
Here.
And Mayor Kropinski Costa.
Present. I might have forgotten to report out of our closed session. There is nothing to report. And that closed session is now adjourned. Okay, so then starting on this one, and maybe Councilmember Nelson will lead us in the flag salute. Could you please read the video statement?
This meeting of the Citrus Heights City Council is live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast and DirecTV UVerse cable systems. It is also live streamed at citrusheights.net. Tonight's meeting replays on Monday, November 17th at 9 a.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. And this recording can also be viewed on the city's YouTube channel.
Okay, next item, please.
Next item is approval of agenda.
Move approval.
I second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next item, please.
Next item, we have presentation number 4, presentation by the Citrus Heights Community Marching Band on the Halloween Parade, Harvest Festival, and Car Show.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. My name's Thomas Spencer, and I'm here to present to you today a little snippet of one of our wonderful events that we do yearly called Halloween. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to do this and your support, and also thank the Mayor for suggesting me for this project. No further ado, I'll give you the Citrus Heights Community Marching Band. Ooh, pardon me, ma'am.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council members. My name is Sarah Hendricks. I am the band manager of the Citrus Heights Community Marching Band. I am here with Cody Tickner, the band director, and we just want to talk about the Halloween Parade and Harvest Festival that we had on October 18th.
Yes, this year was a tremendous success as a fundraiser and a community event for the band. We had, let's see here, 24 parade entries, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually took up a large portion of the Grand Oaks Boulevard, and our neighbors were thrilled with it. So it seemed. We also had, let's see the numbers here. How many vendors do we have?
76,
76 vendors.
which is the most that we've ever had.
Yeah, it's actually made us one of the largest vendor type events in the whole Sacramento region.
And yes, on behalf of the
And how many
Citrus
dog entries were there for the
Heights-
dogs?
actually, I don't know how many were for the costume contest.
I think about 10. We're going to work on
Yes.
promoting it a lot better next year because that was a hit.
Definitely. It's always a hit. I love to see the dogs' costumes that they come up with and routines.
So the winner was good.
Yeah. The little truck.
History.
Yeah.
But on behalf of the Citrus Heights Community Marching Band, we would like to thank the city for your support. Without the grant that we received, we would not be able to continue to provide free music education and provide a fun and parade and festival for our community. So, thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad you came. I invited them to come because none of the news outlets carried it. And there was no nobody there from the Sentinel, and the Messenger guy didn't write a story. He was there, but he didn't. So I kind of wanted to show the public, kind of, and so we're going to see a little video?
Yes.
Are we? Okay.
From Thomas's video, yes.
And thank you, Thomas, for doing this.
Yes. Thank you.
Welcome to the city of Citrus Heights, a diverse and unique suburb of Sacramento, California. Join us for this crowd favorite Halloween, which is sponsored by the Citrus Heights Community Marching Band, the only free all-ages community marching band and color guard in the country. Citrus Heights Community Marching Band was founded by Bill and Kathy Smith. Sit back, relax, and enjoy Halloween. Thank you so very much.
And our very own mayor of Citrus Heights, Jana Karpinski Costa. Dr. Jana Karpinski Costa. I'm sorry, do you mean? Established in 1920, we have proudly served Citrus Heights and the surrounding communities for over 100 years. The Sunrise Recreation and Park District. Rolling back the clock to the fabulous 50s, the Sunrise Recreation and Park District is celebrating 75 years of fun, community, and recreation.
Sunrise tomorrow, bud. There it is. That was a great event. So next year, we'll probably do it again in October. The parade down marches down Grand Oaks Boulevard, I guess it's a boulevard or avenue, and ends at Rush Park. And it's best event I've gone to in a long time. And we had a dog costume contest, and the dog that won drove his own little vehicle. He was so cute. The owner had a little electronic thing, and it looked like the dog is driving. It was just as cute as could be. It was cool. That was cool. Thank you so much for the marching band for putting on the thing and for Thomas for filming it. Next item, please.
The next item is presentation number 5, proclamation of the City of Citrus Heights, recognizing law enforcement records and support personnel week.
And for that, I have Councilmember Nelson.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's see here. May we please have our public safety officials come up to the front to receive this proclamation.
Go behind the microphone. That way you can speak.
Speak first?
No, she'll
I'll read it and then
she'll
you,
read it, and then you get.
Very good.
thank you for being here. All right, this is the proclamation of the City of Citrus Heights recognizing November 10th through 14th, 2025 as National Police Records and Support Personnel Appreciation Week. Whereas the City of Citrus Heights Police Records and Support Teams stand as dedicated professionals who ensure that information is accurate, accessible, and secure, and whereas these individuals serve as the foundation of transparency and accountability in law enforcement, maintaining meticulous records that uphold justice, protect privacy, and preserve the public's trust. And whereas records and support personnel manage thousands of reports, requests, and communications each year with precision and professionalism, ensuring that vital information flows seamlessly between officers, investigators, allied agencies, and the community. And whereas their work often goes unseen, yet it is indispensable to every aspect of policing, providing the structure, organization, and reliability that allow officers to serve the community effectively and safely. And whereas the City of Citrus Heights proudly recognizes the Records Unit and support personnel for their expertise, integrity, and unwavering commitment to excellence in public service. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Citrus Heights does hereby proclaim November 10th through 14th, 2025 as National Police Records and Support Personnel Appreciation Week. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council members, City Manager Feeney. I'm Police Services Supervisor Dan Stockbridge with the Citrus Heights Police Records Team. On behalf of Chief Turcotte, Commander Fry, and Manager Tiffany Campbell, thank you for this recognition honoring National Police Records and Support Personnel Appreciation Week. I'm joined this evening by my colleague, Senior Records Technician Katie Smith. Together, we are privileged to accept this on behalf of the entire Police Records team, a group of highly skilled professionals whose contributions are essential to both our department and our community. Our team safeguards the records that tell the story of each case, each call for service, and every moment where accuracy and efficiency matter most. And though much of our work happens behind the scenes, we also interact daily with the public, greeting and assisting thousands of community members in the lobby and by phone each year. We take great pride in supporting our officers, our department, and the people of Citrus Heights with professionalism, compassion, and care. Thank you for honoring our commitment and our service.
Well, that's fine. Does anyone have any comments before we go up and have our presentation and photo?
I got a quick comment.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Without your department, I don't think we'd be near as successful in prosecuting cases as we are already. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate the hard work you guys put in.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thanks, Councilmember Schaefer. Took the words right out of my mouth. Thank you guys so much for all the work you do.
Thank you.
You deserve the proclamation, so I'm glad we're doing it. Let's go have a photo taken. Okay. Next item, please.
The next item is presentation number 6, proclamation of the City of Citrus Heights recognizing the United Nations Unite campaign to end violence against women and children, and December 10th, 2025 as Orange the World. And we do have representatives from Inner Wheel Club of Citrus Heights here to accept it tonight.
And I've asked Councilmember Middleton to read this proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to welcome the President, Joan Booten, and other representatives to the podium, and I will read the proclamation, and we'll hear some comments from you guys. I love the color.
Orange.
So let's see. Whereas violence against women and children is a devastating and ongoing global crisis, according to the United Nations, 1 woman is murdered every 10 minutes by partners or family members, and the United Nations Development Program identifies this violence as a direct result of systemic gender inequality, power imbalances, and harmful social norms. And violence against women includes not only physical abuse, but also emotional, psychological, sexual, and financial forms of harm, and is the most pervasive break of human rights worldwide. The Citrus Heights Police Department reported a 7% increase in 2024 in crimes against persons, including assaults and domestic violence. And in 2008, the UN Secretary General launched the Unite initiative to support the 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence campaign around the world. The campaign runs from November 25th to December 10th, the International Observance of Human Rights Day, and on December 10th, 2025, entities around the globe will unite for the Orange the World by illuminating physical and online spaces in orange, the color of hope for a brighter future free from violence against women and children. And International Inner Wheel is the largest women's voluntary service organization in the world, fostering international understanding and supporting women and children through local resources. The Citrus Heights Inner Wheel Club was chartered in 1985 and participates in numerous projects throughout the community. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights hereby recognizes the United Nations Unite campaign and proclaims December 10th, 2025 as Orange the World, calling for the worldwide awareness, reforms, and sustained resources to end gender-based violence.
Sorry, could you say your name again, because I didn't hear it the first time?
I am Linda Daniel, a member of the Inner Wheel Club of Citrus Heights, and this is our president, Joan Bunton, and we have some of our members here today, Mayor. And it's very much a wonderful honor to have this proclamation today, and thank you so much. I'd like to take a couple minutes to tell you about our club and a little bit more about this project. The club has been here for 40 years, and during that time, we've done many things to support other organizations within Citrus Heights. One of the things that we've done is given teddy bears and blankets to your police department to have in their cars when they have times when they have to take children or be in accidents where people need comfort. Those are things that we've helped to provide. We've also given lots of time and money and food to the food bank, Sunrise Food Bank. That's one of our big projects we've done for over 35 years. And we also help with feeding the hungry through several Citrus Heights groups that feed hungry monthly. And we've been happy to do that. But we are part of an international organization that tries to look at bigger issues also. And in doing that, we have over 4,000 clubs worldwide. We're in 105 countries, and we have 125,000 members. Here in Citrus Heights, we have somewhere between 12 and 25 members, but we keep doing, because doing is what matters, and doing is what matters, especially when you're doing good. The statistics from the United Nations that Councilmember Middleton read are part of some of the statistics that the United Nations did put out. It is just a horrific thing that so many families, children, and girls go through so much violence. And violence is something that we as individuals, communities, should not be ignoring. One voice can start a movement, but many voices can change the world, and that's one of the things that we're looking at. We're part of this project this year to try to bring awareness, and that is what we think needs to happen. A couple of 4 things. Number 1 is awareness. We want to end violence against women and girls. We want it not to be okay. We want it to not be the quiet thing we don't talk about. We have to educate our boys and our girls in our schools that violence in homes and violence in and around the community is not okay. We have to educate them on how to handle anger and how to handle and discuss differences. Number 2, we need to be also active. And in doing that, that's what we're doing on November 25th through December 10th. On November 25th, we'll be at the Capitol Building. We'll be demonstrating there, walking. We'll have tables. We'll be out in our orange. And also on December 7th, we're going to be 3 or 4 places, several times in Citrus Heights at the marathon. We're going to have little groups of people in orange with our signs. And the next thing is we want to support our local groups that work on this issue every day. The ones that we have identified and are going to be supporting and do support are St. John's for Change for Women in the Sacramento area, Weave, that works with trafficking and violence for girls and women, and My Sister's House for Asian and Pacific Islanders, for women who have been having violence happen. We do feel that this proclamation that you've made in honoring us today and honoring that proclamation of putting forth this issue is so important. And we hope for your support not only this year, but in the years to come and in every day in the things that we do as a community, as individuals, and as a council. Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you so much, Council.
I'm sure some of our council members want to comment. I'll start with a male among us.
I'm actually just thankful that you're around, and I really don't have any comment beyond that.
you have a comment?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes. I so appreciate the work that you do, and this is a topic that truly, I think, goes away the more we talk about it. It's something that can only exist when we kind of hide it and we're ashamed that it happens. But when we talk about it and educate each other on the symptoms of it and how to resolve it, I think that's how we solve it. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Middleton?
I just deeply appreciate you guys doing this work. It's tough work, and it's something that's very meaningful and needed, especially as we have young girls who are coming up through our schools and just need to know that what's okay and what's not okay, and that there's a safe space for them to say what's happened to them and to be able to find support. So thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you for being here. You know, this is a very, very important issue for me, and I had no idea that your organization was in Citrus Heights, so thank you for bringing it to our attention, and I hope to interact with your organization more. Thank you for what you do.
And I also had no idea that you existed. So I'm wondering if you are on our volunteer hub, to recruit new members, to share the work you do, volunteers you might need. And so if you go on the Citrus Heights website, and look under the volunteer hub, you can list, needs your organization has. We also have a collaborative that meets on the first Friday, the last one of those Fridays. The information's on our website where you meet other people from other groups, and the police department and whatever, they all participate and share their resources. And so the orange is certainly terrific because you stand out. So orange is good. And, our police, when we first became a city, domestic violence was the biggest crime we had, more than car robberies. And our police department put an emphasis on addressing the domestic violence issues in our city. And I love the teddy bear idea, and the Lakeview Village ladies also do teddy bears. And so those are meaningful to the children. And I like Councilmember Middleton's idea of, the schools is where you really begin training anti-violence. And because, there's a lot, and it's a secret. Most of the time, the violence is kept a secret and it's not shared, and it needs to be openly addressed. So we appreciate, as a city, we appreciate the work you do, and we'd like to know more about it. So if you would get on the website and introduce yourselves to the community, I think you'll find a lot more support, because there's people out there that do support this work you're doing. So with that said, why don't we go have a nice photograph?
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see if she'll take a picture.
Grab my sign. Okay, I'm going to take a couple pictures, so just be patient with me.
She's volunteering. All right, next item, please.
The next item is public comment, and members of the public may address the city council during the meeting. Please fill out a speaker sheet and give it to myself. When you're called upon to speak, please step forward to the podium and state your name for the record. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and the mayor has the discretion to adjust the allotted time. There is a countdown display that will flash red at the end of the allotted time. Consistent with the Brown Act, the council is prohibited from engaging in a discussion or taking action on any item not appearing on the agenda. And for this portion of the public comment period, I do have 3 speaker sheets. I do have 20 for item 14, so I'll hold those items for item 14. And first, I will call Larissa, is it Babchik? Babchik, I'm sorry.
Good evening. So my name is Larissa. I grew up in Sacramento County and I have lived on Sylvan Creek Court since I purchased my home in 2017. I have bought this home with the intention of living and eventually retiring here. Tonight, I want to share some concerns that I have about the proposed trail extension between Mariposa and Sylvan and the impact that it will have on our neighborhood. Citrus Heights officials have acknowledged that homelessness is a growing problem in our city. On October 28th, they gathered together with Sacramento County to address homelessness and behavioral health issues. According to the Homeless Information Identification Count, Citrus Heights Police Department reported a 14% increase in unsheltered homeless persons between 2023 and 2024. With the current rising inflation, more families are now at risk of becoming homeless. Trails can easily become informal encampment sites, which raises safety and sanitation concerns. Their presence leads to unsanitary conditions like trash, clothing, urine, feces, and abandoned items like shopping carts. Locations such as the bridge where Arcade Creek runs under Mariposa and the path from Van Maren Park to Costco are filthy and they smell awful. But most importantly, an increase in homeless presence negatively impacts our property values. This trail creates a highway for homeless to travel between the shopping area behind Walmart and our neighborhood, so families will avoid buying homes in our area and investing in our neighborhood. Finally, the project could have unintended environmental consequences. There is an ecosystem in these woods. More people, more noise, more lights will mean that animals will look elsewhere to build their habitats. Every year, when the rains come, the creek also overfills and the water rises, and the field between Sylvan Creek Court and Sylvan Valley becomes a temporary lake. Flooding patterns will change since pavement doesn't absorb water and water levels will rise higher. FEMA could require us homeowners to purchase flood insurance again. While proponents argue that the trail will increase outdoor recreation, our community already has parks, sidewalks, and paved paths suitable for biking and walking. Additionally, Sylvan Valley Road runs parallel with the location where the trail will be. That street has already paved sidewalks, street lights, and speed bumps to make sure that the street is safe for walking and riding bikes. I urge the City Council, please protect our nature corridor and invest instead in maintaining paths, updating playgrounds and parks, and creating more gated areas for dogs to roam off leash. I welcome any questions that you may have, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Chris Stoddard.
Good evening. My name is Chris Stoddard. I also have a couple questions about the Arcade Creek Trail. I believe in the Citrus Heights Sentinel, it posted a map showing their proposed project, which I believe was on the west side of Sylvan going into Stock Ranch. I'm more concerned about the line stated future creek development, which would go from Sylvan to Mariposa. I'm concerned also, I believe the city council several years ago deemed that unfeasible to proceed with due to the fact that it runs right through the middle of my backyard, some of my neighbors' backyards, and we have no fences. We cannot put a fence. And to the best of my knowledge, being that it's on a 100-year floodplain, you cannot do so much as turn a shovel of dirt because you can't adjust the grading for the water flow. And it, like Larissa said, it is underwater, not just a couple inches. There's parts of it was literally knee-high, 2 feet deep. I'm concerned mainly because it runs right through the middle of my backyard. And my question is, being that you're going to dump $1 million+ into your study for the west side of Sylvan Road, why are you going to do that? Do you plan on building on the east side of Sylvan Road? And if you're not, why would you be spending money on a project you're not going to complete? Or do you have intentions of completing that road? That's my question. What is your intentions basically of the proposed future trail?
You know, we can't comment on any issues not on the agenda, so I'm sorry we can't answer your questions. But if you call city staff, they can explain the plan to you a little better. I think you misunderstand the plan, so I think if you call staff, you get more information.
And Mayor, I'll just add that Director Kempenaar is happy to give you his card and make contact with you to talk about it further.
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
And the next public comment is from Irene Ronsonek, and she wants to speak on item 14, but she is unable to stay for later in the
Well, I was
meeting.
going to
so
say, if anybody that was speaking later wants to speak now because they have to get home, then that's fine.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, council members, and city manager. My name is Irene Ronachek. I'm the president of Citrus Heights Heart, and I also have comments on a personal nature. Last month, I was honored to speak at the Leadership Citrus Heights sessions put on by the Chamber of Commerce of Citrus Heights. And I spoke about how volunteerism is the lifeblood of the nonprofits. And that lifeblood is sustained with time, talent, and treasure. And nonprofits cannot function without folks who contribute their time, talent, and treasure. And it's not just people, it's organizations as well. The Inner Wheel does support Citrus Heights Heart with meals during Winter Sanctuary, and Republic Service also supports Citrus Heights Heart through the years with treasure, with many sponsorships, with many donations of items. But most importantly, they support us with their time and their talent. Anna and Colin have volunteered at different events, and they've actually been there to provide, serve, and clean up after meals at the churches that are hosting the Winter Sanctuary. So we greatly appreciate their contributions in that manner. On a personal note, I hope that the continuity of Republic Services continues. Because I enjoy interacting with the customer service. I never have a complaint. I always have compliments, and I always receive prompt and correct service whenever I call. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Irene.
And I do have one more, April Jasek.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to go a little bit early. We have our distribution going on right now. I'm April Jasek with Sunrise Christian Food Ministry, and we are here in support of Republic Services. They have been a phenomenal partner over at the Food Closet. In the last year, they've picked up all of the costs of our hauling, which even before they did that, they've been stellar partners with us. Their customer service and their drivers make it really easy for us to do the work that we do. We've worked with other haulers in the past, and they made it really hard for us to stay on top of our cardboard recycling, our organics recycling, and get the trash out of there so it didn't become a problem with pests. And we've never had any of those problems with Republic Services. And that was before they were picking up our bill. So now that they're helping us to do more things with the resources that we're going to the cost of our bill, we especially really appreciate our partnership. And besides those things, they do come out and they serve with us as well. So they bring teams out to help us when we have great need. They've given lots of donations, food donations, as well as monetary donations to help us serve the community. They helped us to buy additional turkeys last year, and they helped to give us snacks for our movie in the park that we just did. So lots of wonderful things that they're doing to show that they have a community focus, and it's not just the great customer service that they're providing. I also live in Citrus Heights, and it would be devastating to me if we had to change the way that we do all of our trash hauling and recycling, because I finally got my kid to take the trash out. And it would be terrible to switch it all up, not just for me, but for all the seniors in my community. It's really hard to retrain and learn new things. And I think that they're doing a great job, and it would be a disservice to our community if we shook things up. So thank you so much, and thank you, Republic Services, for everything you do to help the community and the food closet keep chugging along. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. I will extend it one more time, because item 14 is towards the end of the agenda. So if you are here for item 14 and you've got a family you need to get home to or some other business, and you want to speak now, well, you can do that. So not have to wait through. Just let the clerk know you want to step forward.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, city staff, and members of the Citrus Heights community. My name is Beth Sarin, and I'm here as a concerned citizen and resident of Citrus Heights, speaking in support of Republic Services as a reliable and community-minded waste hauler. I also work for a nonprofit, Single Mom Strong. Our mission is to empower single mothers and their children, and our experience with Republic Services has been incredible. They've gone above and beyond, not only as waste haulers, but they've shown genuine concern for our community. For example, there was one volunteer effort where over 22 volunteers came out, and they completely transformed our empowerment center. They painted walls. They helped sort and organize our career clothing closet where single moms shop for free. They helped us organize our donations so that we can refresh the closet regularly. And they also helped plant a beautiful new garden for our Empower Me preschool and childcare. That garden refresh and the refreshment that they did, it's more than just physical improvements. They've created a warm, welcoming environment where children and families can learn, grow, and thrive. As both a representative of Single Mom Strong and a very proud member and resident of Citrus Heights, I can say that Republic Services is not only reliable and responsible, but also deeply invested in the well-being of our city. There are so many volunteers that came that day that I was able to see today in this room. For these reasons, I support Republic Services as a partner for Citrus Heights. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you.
And next is Tammy Hernandez.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. My name is Tamara Hernandez, and I've been a proud homeowner in Citrus Heights since 2012. I also have the privilege of working for Republic Services for the last 8 years. Before, a little quick story, how I came upon my job is I used to do new store openings with Kohl's that had moved in when the Mervyns changed out, and then I switched over to the Hot Topic company, and I actually redid the Sunrise Mall, Hot Topic, and Torrid back in 2015-16. I used Republic Services for some of my temp bins I needed at that time. And I found myself traveling 4 or 5 days a week out of town and missed my husband. So one day I was taking out the trash at home and saw my Republic Service trash cans and just thought, give them a call and see what opportunities I've had. So it was a great organic change, but overall, it's given me a little passion too to realize the service that I was getting as a resident, thinking that once I put it to the curb, it just magically disappeared and I bring my carts back. I've learned a lot of the process that goes into the trash services. But speaking both as an employee and a resident, I honestly say the level of service we receive in Citrus Heights is the best I've seen anywhere. I've lived in 12 different states and 5 different cities across California in my past 47 years. In my experience in this industry, the residential package that we have is second to none. Every time I talk to my friends around the cities here locally and even some down in Southern California, talking about my bulky pickups, sometimes when our lids get damaged, how quickly they get exchanged without even having to call them in because the drivers are just reporting them. They can't believe it, and honestly, I've had a couple of them campaign in other areas trying to get their own bulky service programs. What makes me proud, though, is how deeply Republic Services invests in our community. Part of my role is volunteering at local events that I'm so grateful for the places and causes such that we support. Single Mom Strong, Citrus Heights Band, the Citrus Heights Heart, Winter Sanctuary programs, Kiwanis Club, the Sunrise Christian Food Ministry, and many more across that are my customers here, as my local territory is also Citrus Heights. I also love that Republic makes an effort to support our local Citrus Heights businesses whenever possible, not just for food and catering some of our events, but we've used different businesses for entertainments, balloon artists, face painters, for our rodeos and other events we have for our business unit. I'm really proud to work for the company that does so much in the community that I do call home. Being a California native, recycling, saving water, conserving has always been a passion. I hope to continue our partnership with Republic Services in keeping, serving, supporting Citrus Heights and everybody. Thank you for your time, everybody.
Thank you.
And next is Sarah Hendricks.
Good evening again, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council members. My name is Sarah Hendricks, and I am speaking on behalf of Republic Services today, not only as a resident of Citrus Heights, but also as the band manager of the Citrus Heights Community Marching Band. Republic Services offers so much more than just waste collection. My family and I utilize the 3 on-call bulky item pickups per year, curbside collection of used oil and household batteries. We also utilize the extra leaf collection in the winter. As the band manager of the Citrus Heights Community Marching Band, every time I reach out to Republic Services to collaborate on an event in the community, there is no hesitation. They are always excited to help and be involved in the community. Republic Services provides exceptional service, reasonable rates, are community-based, and are doing their part in keeping it green. So I ask that you keep Republic Services as our waste partner and vote for option 1 to negotiate with Republic Services. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sarah.
And that concludes the public comment that I have
The other
for this
comments,
portion.
if you have some, can wait till item 14 comes up on the agenda. Okay, that's fine. At least some people get to go home, do not have to sit here for the whole thing. Okay, next item then.
Next item is comments by council members and regional board updates.
I'll start with Councilmember Nelson. We'll
Thank you,
just
Mayor.
go down the line.
We'll see how much voice I have left in me. I feel like I still have that lingering cough happening. Because I was out sick for a while, I did miss quite a few things, but I was able to attend on the 28th of October that joint county and cities meeting on homelessness. And we have to keep moving forward on that. That's what else I'll say about that meeting. On the 30th.
Did you gain anything from that meeting?
Yes, and I'm hoping that we have some productive ideas that come now after this.
Okay.
Yeah. On the 30th, I attended an STA subcommittee meeting virtually. This was the subcommittee to decide should we move forward with trying to put a tax on the ballot for Sacramento County. And what we kind of sussed out from that is that survey results showed that Sacramento County residents do not want it, which is great. I agree with that. So we'll see what that looks like moving forward. On the 11th, I attended the Kids Commerce event by our Citrus Heights Chamber, and that was so cool. There were 2 high school students who created businesses. Super exciting and inspiring, so I'm looking forward to attending that next year too. And then the State of the City on the 6th was also really inspiring. This has been a whole year now for me on the council, and I think it's been a really good year for the city. We've done a lot, and it was really heartwarming to hear us go through all the things that we've done. So that's it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mayor. So on the 30th, so I was here on the 28th, so on the 30th, SACOG meeting, and then the same day was Trunk or Treat, and I showed up to Trunk or Treat in a
You were
bumblebee
cute. Oh, no, you were cute.
costume. And so
I was going to report you to SAC.
I was a cowbee. So, and then after I went to Trunk or Treat, I went over to Rosario Rodriguez was in this room doing a presentation. So it was really fun, really enjoyed that. So then on the 3rd, the mayor and I had an annexation meeting. I just wanted to publicly talk about this. When we talk about things like annexation, this is, we really do sit down with property owners and get their feedback and understand what their concerns are. And this was a really informative meeting, and it was great. And I just wanted the public to know that even though it may sound like, hey, you're going to annex something, these things that we're doing they have a purpose behind them. So anyhow, we're going to talk more about that at some point. And then on the 5th, I was asked, thank you very much, Sherry Merrick, for inviting me to judge the Junior Achievement Entrepreneurial event. Really, 2 really impressive kids from Mesa Verde. They're both seniors, and they're both ready to join the business world. And it was great to, I enjoyed the opportunity to give them some feedback. So then on the 6th, again, the mayor did a wonderful job, as well as the city manager, on the State of the City event, really covering both what we've accomplished and what's in front of us. And more important is what's in front of us. We have some really big projects in front of us that we're hopefully will be moving forward with some of that soon, really soon. And then on the 10th, I had a SAC-RT board meeting. And then yesterday I attended with the city manager, and the mayor was there, a tribute to the veterans of one, I am a veteran of the U.S. Army. And it was a really fine tribute to veterans at the cemetery, at Sylvan Cemetery. I certainly would encourage you. The next one is going to be on Memorial Day. And that's a much more focused on remembrance. This is just simply focused on veterans. And one of the things that, so 52 years ago, the draft ended. So for the last 52 years, the people who have served fully signed that line to potentially give their life for their country on a completely volunteer basis. And I think that while I certainly appreciate those folks who endured the draft, but if you volunteered to potentially give your life for your country, kudos to you. And I'm really appreciative of that for our freedom. So that's it, Mayor.
Councilmember Middleton.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's see, October the 23rd, I attended Art in City Hall, which was an incredible unveiling of the artistic talent that's in Citrus Heights and in the region around us, right? Citrus Heights Arts put that together with some funding and support from the city of Citrus Heights. So thank you so much, colleagues and staff, for supporting that, because that was something where we got to see this showcase of beautiful artwork. And if you get the opportunity, please take a look around out there in the general area. This is stuff that's been just hand created. I can't draw a stick figure, so I'm impressed by anyone that can get out there and do some real work. On the 6th of this month, I was also at the State of the City event, which, I mean, my gosh, we have done some incredible things in this city and can't wait to see what we do after our strategic planning session next year. I can't wait to set those new goals because I know we're going to knock them out the park. And on the 7th, I went to the Miss California pageant, and that was a whole heap of fun. Tons of food, but also we got to look at what our local business community is doing. It's mostly our Slavic community and how they're, really integrating and supporting all the key essential areas that we're working through in our own city. We have a huge population of those individuals here. So just to kind of see, all the great stuff that they're doing, but also to watch all these, beautiful young women walk around and talk about the things they want to accomplish and why they're doing what they're doing was incredible. I mean, I don't think when I was about in my 20s, I was that forward thinking. I was more thinking about, oh my God, can I pass this, physics exam in college, right? These girls are far beyond that. They are just so tenacious and very inspiring. It made me think about my life goals now. Got to reconsider what I'm doing. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Lopez Tav.
All right, I'm looking at my calendar in this piece of paper, and I have a lot of things that I have done, but quite a few of them are repeats, so I'm going to just call out what was really interesting to me. I am going to start on October 23rd and that artist reception. There is something special that transforms a space, and that's art. And I think if you have not had a chance to walk these hallways while you're at this meeting, take a quick look, because it is an amazing feat, not only to gather this much art from our community members, but also to have it displayed here for an extended period of time and have it as a rotating feature of our local community. And on the heels of establishing an art district. So that that was very enjoyable just to meet the artists too. It was a blind showing, so you had to kind of ask around, is this your art? And what inspired you? And what was the motivation for this piece? And I love having those conversations because we talk about hard things all the time. Let's talk about some fun things every now and again. The other fun and exciting thing was also in attendance of the Citrus Heights Chamber with Junior Achievements Kids Commerce. As a economic development engine, we have to start younger to inspire those minds and that creativity. We never know if we're going to inspire the next Elon Musk or, Bill Gates, et cetera. There's so many ideas. It's just a matter of giving them pathways to showcase those ideas. So, next year, I plan to definitely support our Kids Commerce event again. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the state of the city. What I want to say about the state of the city, because we can say all kinds of wonderful things about ourselves, but when we walk around in our community, that's when it actually matters. What are our residents saying to us when we see them in public? And I will tell you, with all the events that I've gone to, I happen to meet Citrus Heights residents all over the place, and they always tell me, there's so many good things happening in Citrus Heights. There's an energy, there's a vibrancy here. And we're just feeling like more good things are coming. And that, to me, is a much more valuable stamp of approval than us standing here and reading a list of accomplishments to you. Because we can pat ourselves on the back all the time, but it is living in our streets and hearing the feedback of your experience that actually makes living here and doing our work so much more important and poignant. So. And yes, I also attended the Veterans Day ceremony at Sylvan Cemetery. Whether you have family or you yourself have served, attend one of these at one time. Lend your honor to those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in our country. You know, freedom isn't free. And some have paid the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms that we so easily enjoy every day. And that is why I attend, even though I personally am not a veteran. I have many, many veterans in my family, and I attend occasions like this to honor their service. So, thank you.
Well, I am sorry that I missed the last council meeting, but I was presenting a proclamation on behalf of the city to the Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, who came to Sacramento at the Memorial Auditorium, and me and a couple of other mayors and a couple of other electeds from the assembly presented him with our proclamations. It was very, and then we do a mass meditation. This was like a very cruel experience. So I missed the meeting, but I'm sure you did fine without me. And then, getting back to work, on the 24th, I went to the Heart Spaghetti Feed fundraiser, and as Irene mentioned, time, talent, and treasure. And this is their fundraiser that they do so much for our homeless. You know, when it comes to discussion of homelessness and how we participate, it's our local charities that really help out more, I think, than the county does. And so the charity begins at home, and they offer, you know, so much to our homeless population, like to call them unhoused population, that, you know, so I'm happy to support Heart. I bought a Chinese tree, some sort of a tree. So I got a tree. I hope that helps. On the 27th, I went to the Area 10 meeting, but also had Monday with the mayor. Monday with the mayor is a time when I sit for 3 hours at City Hall for anyone who wants to come and chit and chat about anything they want to chit and chat about, since we can't communicate when you're at public comment. It's a good time and I want to thank Regina Cave. She happened to be marching by when I had a resident there inquiring about something that was handled in her department, and she paused and took the time to sit and chat with our resident and went back, looked up some stuff for him, and came back. And I just want to thank Regina and her staff. This is what you call the city, you know, our fine service that we give our residents, and that was nice. You don't see that in too many cities where a department head would, and Casey has often come out, our planning guy, will come out and talk to people. So I appreciate staff and their help with me when I sit there for 3 hours. Sometimes nobody comes, or I always get Mr. Sheldon. So it's a nice time if you have something, at least until the end of the year. While I'm mayor, I'm there on Mondays, 9 to 12. Yes, on the 28th, we went to an all-day homeless, what do they call it, a meeting? I guess it was a meeting. The report you read in the Sentinel was not quite accurate. It was kind of, I guess you could watch it to see. It was not a very productive meeting. I thought the purpose of the meeting was to address what our future steps would be, and no future steps came up. So future steps may come in the future as we work out some of the options that, you know, you saw one that was presented by the county. Several others may come up, and you'll see some action going on, but as at this point, there is no action planned. On the 30th, I went as a panel member to the Sacramento Housing Alliance to talk about, well, they gave us, as a panel, it was a couple hours. I went for the all-day event and listened to all the other panels and about housing and affordable housing, the state's work on housing, other jurisdictions' work on housing, and then our participation, and to let everybody know what we've done. And I was very proud to be able to report, with the help of Nicole Piva from our city staff, I was very glad to report the work that we've done with the housing stuff that we've done. You've all heard about the Auburn Oaks and the other one, Sunrise Point. So we've done those, and I'm very proud to have shared those with the rest of the people in the room that we do that. Then we had, there's so much going on. We had the annexation meeting. I did the Kids in Commerce, the State of the City. It was a wonderful event. I just loved that event, and I was just so privileged to be able to do it this year. And we did our teleprompter, which was kind of cool. It's nice. I did go to the Miss California. Councilmember Portia Middleton was a judge. She did a good job judging. Did have a Did do Veterans Day 3 events. Went to Lakeview Village in the morning, then Sylvan Cemetery, and then the community center. So it was, it's, Veterans Day is to me I like that better than Memorial Day, because Memorial Day, you're celebrating, recognizing the ones who passed, but on Veterans Day, you're recognizing those who served. And I always wonder, why do you give up your freedom for somebody else's? And so, because once you join the service, they tell you what to wear, what to sleep, what to eat, and all this. And, you lose all your independence to fight the freedom for other people. So I thought that was pretty nice to recognize them. And then this morning, I had a sewer meeting. I just love our sewer district. Nothing to report that's functional, but it was just nice because of the different things we do. We're doing a pollinator garden. We do more than just process sewage. We help the environment, so they're setting up a pollinator garden in Natomas that will draw the pollinators to pollinate flowers and stuff. It's kind of cool. And then the sewer, mosquito district, I had to miss because of the all-day homeless meeting. So I had to pass on the mosquito meeting, and the one for November is canceled. But I do have one set of data that is, I thought, interesting. As of today, we have had 8 new human cases just this week of West Nile virus in the state. There have been 92 human cases so far this year reported from 20 counties. Of the 92 cases, 82 were neuroinvasive, so people suffered neurological symptoms, and 8 were fatal. The median age of these patients was 65 years old, and 57 of them were male, which was 62%. In addition to the 92 cases, 11 had positive blood. When you donate blood, they test you for your antibodies. 11 people had positive blood from 6 counties. So the West Nile mosquitoes are just about dying off before the winter. They'll get down, and you're going to find these little tiny mosquitoes, and you're going to find the winter mosquitoes, which don't carry disease. So not to worry about them, but the West Nile, you still want to drain. If they're bugging you now, you got to start draining your water. It's going to rain, and then we're going to have some sunshine, and it's going to be nice for a few days. Those mosquitoes are going to just love the nice weather after the rain. So be sure to drain. That's the best thing you can do, is drain. And that's my report. I know it was long, but as mayor, I go to a lot and do a lot of stuff, so. Next item.
Next item is consent calendar. Item 7, approval of the minutes. Item 8, quarterly treasurer's report. Item 9, Mitchell Farm subdivision project acceptance and execution of a memorandum of understanding.
Anybody want to pull an item for comments or questions? Seeing none, motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Who seconded? Mary Jane, okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimous. Next item, please.
Next item is public hearings. Item number 10, the subject is review 2026 final draft annual allocation plan and funding recommendations for the Community Development Block Grant Program. And the recommendation is to hear public testimony and to adopt a resolution approving the Community Development Block Grant 2026 Annual Action Plan and funding recommendations, and authorizing the city manager to execute and file all documents required to receive Department of Housing and Urban Development CDBG grant funding.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Nicole Piva, I'm the Housing and Human Services Program Coordinator. And tonight's item is a continuation from the October 22nd City Council meeting regarding the 2026 Community Development Block Grant, also known as CDBG. It's our action plan. So as a HUD entitlement city, the city anticipates receiving about $600,000 in federal CDBG funds next year to support community priorities. And for the 2026 program year, the Quality of Life Committee met, and that committee is comprised of Mayor Karpinski Costa and Councilmember Nelson. They recommended allocating the $90,000 available for public services to Campus Life Connection to support the Sayonara After School program, Meals on Wheels to support the senior nutrition program, Community Link Project Sentinel to support our renters helpline, and then also Sunrise Christian Food Ministry to support the food bank. And then in addition to the public service activities, approximately $390,000 will go to support the ADA and sidewalk improvements through the city's pavement preservation project. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. And if there's no questions, the recommendation before you is on the screen this evening.
Okay. Any questions first? Questions? Questions. Okay, so I'm going to do is open the public hearing. This is a public hearing item, right? Yes, okay. Public testimony on this, Madam Clerk?
I do not have any public comment speakers for this item.
Is there anybody in the audience that wishes to give testimony on this item? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Okay, action time.
I'd like to make a motion. I move that we adopt Resolution 2025, a resolution for the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights, California, approving the Community Development Block Grant 2026 Annual Action Plan and authorizing the city manager or designee to execute and file all documents required to receive the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Community Development Block Grant funding.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Next item, please.
Next item is public hearing, item number 11. The subject is the second reading of ordinances amending various sections of Chapter 18 of the Municipal Code relating to buildings and building regulations, and Chapter 38 relating to fire prevention and protection. And the recommendation is to adopt an ordinance amending Chapter 18 relating to buildings and building regulations, and an ordinance amending Chapter 38 of the Municipal Code relating to fire prevention and protection.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Casey Kempner, Community Development Director, joined by Chief Building Official Joe Cuff and Fire Marshal Amy Nygren. Last meeting, we went through a little bit more detail than we will tonight. Tonight's goal is to do a public hearing, open the public hearing, and then close the public hearing. This is related to the strategic goal that the council set about making sure we're eliminating additional burdens of code requirements that would impact reoccupying our buildings. I want to give a big shout out to our team here for working through that and making sure that we could eliminate all the burdens that were already in place and try to make it as streamlined as possible for our businesses to reoccupy buildings at Citrus Heights. So really shout out to Fire Marshal Nygren and her team and Joe Cuff and his team for pulling this through. So with that, we had more information last meeting, but happy to answer any questions you have. The motions are on the screen if you'd like to make those. I would just recommend, they are pretty wordy. You can just say move motion A and move motion B to save some talking.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions before I open the public hearing? Then I will open the public hearing. Do we have any comment on this item?
I do not have any speaker cards for this item.
Okay, you had one to read, you said. Is that for the next, is that
For item 14, I have two to read for item 14.
Okay, just wanted to double check. Okay, then I'm going to close the public hearing. And next is an item that all we have to do is move the number.
You can say move A, take a vote, and then move B.
Okay.
I move motion A, or I move A, please.
I'll second.
Motion A, moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. I move motion B.
Motion B,
I'll second.
seconded by Councilmember Nelson. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, A and B passes. Let's put it in the book. A, B. Okay, next item.
Next item is regular calendar, item number 12. The subject is 2026 and 2027 pavement preservation projects, award of professional services agreement. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a professional services agreement with REY Engineers for the 2026 and 2027 pavement preservation project.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. Regina Cave, your General Services Director. I'm here tonight in lieu of our illustrious city engineer who would normally be giving this presentation and could do a far better job than me, so I apologize in advance. We are highlighting this item tonight as this is an alignment not only with a strategic goal, but a huge priority for the council and our community to continue our momentum of addressing our infrastructure and specifically our streets. So we've presented several items to council this year that align either with existing construction or in preparation of next year and the following year's restoration projects. And so this item tonight continues that momentum. So a little bit of background, council did adopt the 3-year pavement preservation plan in December of 2023. This was the city's first multi-year pavement restoration efforts, expanding our streets from just a handful of streets to this next plan will be over 222 streets that we will be presenting. The original plan included 222 streets for 2026 and 2027. The project efforts to date, extensive ongoing coordination between city staff, consultants, and utility companies. It is imperative that we make sure we are doing coordination with all the utility companies in advance of touching our streets, as we want to make sure that any investment that we put into our public infrastructure does have long-term payback. We don't want to see our streets cut up in a short period of time, so there is extensive coordination there. We have done some revisions to the planned streets based on changing conditions. Again, that was presented to council in 2023 as the plan. However, sometimes plans change based on some changing conditions, whether it's been utility companies coming through or just natural weather impacts on our pavement. And so we want to make sure that whatever steps we take to preserve our pavement, that they are in alignment with what the conditions dictate. And then also, in some of the cases, that we have increased the number of streets that we will be doing a multi-layer treatment on. That automatically does trigger ADA upgrades, so we've had to make some adjustments for that as well. And then you will notice in the staff report, we've expanded our streets from the 222 to 33 additional streets being added. This is a testament that this is a living, breathing document, and we must be flexible. So before you are the streets highlighted in green for 2026 resurfacing and in blue for 2027. As you can see, we have several major arterials that we will be addressing. Greenback Lane, Sylvan Road, and Fair Oaks Boulevard this next year, and then Auburn Boulevard from Sylvan Corners to our southwest city limits in 2027. So challenges and desired outcomes, we have, again, increased ADA requirements due to amended resurfacing applications, meaning streets that were once identified for just a slurry, that we have reviewed those streets, and recommendations are to apply maybe a two-layer or three-layer treatment. Those do trigger ADA requirements, so those have increased the number of ADA ramps that we will be addressing. Again, we are working around utility projects. As some utility companies advise of emergency work that they need to do, we have had to shift some of our streets around. We will be implementing safety elements as part of the multimodal transportation safety plan. So again, if we're going to be doing construction on any of our streets, we want to make sure we're looking at it holistically, not only the utilities underground, but any other surface improvements that we have plans for, such as bulb outs, such as increased crosswalks and different types of pedestrian and bicycle amenities. And then delivering multiple construction packages to meet timelines. So because this is a 2-year project that we're looking at for 2026 and 2027, we want to be methodical and try to be as efficient as possible. So keeping in mind certain elements of work that we can do in colder weather months versus the work that we have to do in the warmer weather months. So if we can take advantage of expediting the project to be able to get all of our concrete and our stormwater done in certain months and then roll out with our asphalt work, that will be our plan. And project support. So because these projects are so massive and we are a lean staffing agency, we do require design and professional services. So design services are required for our street resurfacing, concrete, and stormwater. And it's important for the public to understand that you know, we don't have asphalt crews here. If we decide that we're going to resurface or repave a road, we don't just call the contractor and they come out and they resurface the road. There's a lot of work that's has to be done ahead of time. So surveying the roads, checking all the utilities, checking, again, all the concrete ADA items that we need to check off the list. And then again, if it's at any intersections, what do those intersections look like? Are they under loop detection systems? Do we have cameras? Where do we need to make upgrades in order to get that road ready for reconstruction? So staff issued a request for proposals, an RFP for design services in September, and that included not only the design of the resurfacing, but traffic engineering, concrete, and stormwater upgrades. 8 firms did respond to that RFP. Staff reviewed all those proposals and determined which consultants to move forward with interviews. And the consultants and the teams were evaluated to make sure that they have a clear understanding of the objectives of the project, the innovation that they could bring to the table, some of the homework that they did ahead of time, fit and ability to meet the desired schedule. So before you is the staff recommendations to proceed with executing a contract with REY Engineering for the 26-27 pavement restoration projects. And I'm here for any questions you may have.
Questions? I have a question. You have a question?
I have a comment.
I have a question. So I'm not clear on what the project is. So they're just designing, they're not paving anything.
No.
They're just
design. So typically, when we go out for any of our projects for pavement, concrete, stormwater, those types of projects, capital improvement projects of this nature, and keep in mind, these are 2 fiscal years of projects, anywhere from 8 to 10.
And it's just for these 33 streets?
No, it's for the 222 plus the 33, and we removed San Juan as noted in the staff
Okay,
report.
so the list we had plus
254.
33.
254 plus all the ADA ramps, which I believe is 167 ramps.
And so that's 1 point something million?
1.4 million, almost 1.5.
So that's part of the money we had said we're going to spend on streets?
That is
so-
correct.
So that's not paving, that's just
That is,
consulting?
design it to be able to put together what we call the means and the methods, which are our construction documents to be able to put these projects out to bid. And typical standards is about 10 to 15% of your project you set aside for design services. So if your project is 8 to 10 million, you should allocate a good 10 to 15% for design services.
Okay. Answers the question. Comment?
Yeah, I just am impressed that we were able to add 33 more streets. I appreciate that. I know I've currently enjoyed some sealing and some fresh striping on Old Auburn, so I appreciate that. And I know the more streets we can pave and get on a plan, the happier our residents will be overall. So thank you for taking a second closer look.
What was the range of the other RFP?
So for professional services, we don't actually open the proposals. We do an evaluation based upon, again, fit, and then we select the top 2 that we think we want to really look at deeper, and then we nailed it down to just 1, and that's when we actually open up the cost proposal, and then we negotiate from there. I can say that your city engineer did a phenomenal job at actually negotiating this down by about 15%.
Okay. Well, she does a phenomenal job anyway. All right. Okay, any other questions or comments? Then we need a motion.
I'll do it. All right, I move that we adopt Resolution 2025, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights, California, authorizes the city manager to execute an agreement for professional services with Ray Engineering Incorporated for the 2026-2027 pavement restoration projects.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item, please.
The next item is regular calendar, item number 13. The subject is discussion item of strategic goal related to expansion of the city's urban forest. The recommendation is that the city council review the information presented and provide direction to staff on whether to proceed with the implementation of any of the proposed initiatives.
Good evening, council. Nice to be here before you. My name's Allison Bermudez with the Planning Division, presenting this item off your strategic goal and objective list earlier this year. We were looking to enhance community vibrancy through the expansion of the city's urban forest, which is our tree canopy, which is very important for our environment. In support of your goal, presenting you some concepts that we've developed, focus on enhancing community engagement, awareness, improving our infrastructure, and pursuing other grant funding opportunities for the expansion of that canopy. Expanding the city's urban forest is important. It's essential to our environment, our health, and our community character. As you know, we're known for a number of trees. I've repeated this several times, and I'll say it again. In 2014, we had over 27,000 trees logged as public trees, and these are trees in the streets, along our medians, and in the public parkways. and that is more than the city of Sacramento per capita. So very proud of that number, and we look to expand that. As mentioned, there's several qualities, benefits for tree canopy. Our air quality, our stormwater management, shade, provides area for our habitat, and increases our property value. Through this urban forest canopy that we have a tree mitigation fund that we have acquired monies in. This money is captured from developers as they develop projects where they are removing healthy trees. And so we have them pay into this fund, and we use this fund then to expand and maintain our canopy. We've had some big projects over the past couple years, Mitchell Farms, Watt Development there on Antelope Road. So we've acquired a fund of about $900,000, more than we have spent in quite a while on tree canopy. So we have some opportunities then to use those funds to do greater improvements for our tree canopy. The fund right now is used to do one unique program. Also proud of the city does this. We're the only community that offers this, but we do offer our property owners, our residential property owners, access to a certified tree arborist at no charge. So if you own your home and you have trees that you're concerned about, you don't know if they're healthy, or maybe you want to plant some new trees, you're not sure what species or where to plant them, I'll provide an arborist to them free of charge to go out and give them assessment and provide a written recommendation to them. We've served over 300 property owners with this program. We have saved about 500 trees by having the arborist communicate with them and give them ideas on how to preserve that tree and maybe not just remove it. So this tree mitigation fund does also support that program. But with that amount of money, we still have a lot of opportunity to do other things. So we've looked at some different ideas, kind of in three categories. The first one is community engagement and outreach concepts. These are kind of some low-level hanging fruit items, don't cost a lot of money, but really put the importance of our tree canopy out there to the community. And so here's just some ideas, and anything that I mentioned tonight, these are concepts, ideas that we as staff have talked about, done some investigation work into, but not a lot, so they are fluid and flexible. I can take your feedback on them and continue to revise them should you want to move forward, or we seek priorities on what you like from this list, or seek other ideas if you have any. But the first one is really to support our tagline, Solid Roots, New Growth. So our new growth idea was have a tree giveaway. This could supplement the Sacramento Tree Foundation's program where they give away free trees, but maybe we could step that up a little bit more, give away a larger tree. And these would be to families that have new growth, in meaning that they have a baby. They could call here, we could work with them and get them a new tree, a large tree, plant it in honor of their child, and that could be the new growth. So that is something that we thought would be fun and kind of a great way we could promote on social media and kind of get the importance of trees out in the community. And as a child grows, they kind of know that tree is for them. And then the urban photo contest, if we did this a few years back, it produced a lot of great photos that our communities took of their trees or trees out in the public way and submitted them. We had a contest and we had 5 great winners and a lot of honorable mentions. We had quite a few trees that were submitted for the photos, and it was a really fun way to participate. I brought them before the council. They received their award, and staff voted on their favorite trees. A lot of those photos have become part and included in documents that you've seen over the years. We've used those photos, so it's also helped the city in that way. So we'd like to offer to revive that contest. Didn't take a lot of staff time, and it was a fun, engaging project. As a sample, here are some of the photos that you've seen throughout the years, and these were all that were submitted by our community through that contest. We have some infrastructure and grant concepts. A big one for us is the Old Auburn Road Trail tree enhancement. That trail that was put in a few years ago, it is very hot and barren. We would like to consider putting trees where appropriate along that trail. There are some hurdles with planting trees there. There's some very large sewer lines. There are some utility lines. That's kind of stopped that concept ever advancing. And we could use those funds then to maybe do some more investigation to see what's feasible, see if there are areas along the trail where we could plant some significant shade, so the community, when they're using that trail, could have shade or a place to sit through that. But we do need to spend some time and some money to get that off the ground, to do some more digging and figuring out what sewer lines and what utility water lines might conflict. So that, we think we need about $5,000 to start that investigation work. Another idea was, we have a lot of parking lots, we have a lot of commercial areas in the city. The parking lots are old and aging. Throughout the time, water service has been disconnected, or they've let the trees fail, or they've shut off different water, so trees have been removed. So we have a very large number, square footage of unshaded, very hot parking lots. As you know, when you go to shop, it's great to park in a lot that has shade. I know I always seek out that when I'm parking. So we'd like to develop a program, maybe similar to our design program that we offer, where we can provide commercial property owners a grant, a matching grant, should they decide to encourage them to improve the shading or the greenery in their parking lots. This COOL program, for Canopy Over Our Lots, acronym, could provide matching grants of $20,000 for commercial tree plantings, and maybe kick off that program with about $100,000 to see what we can do. There is a community tree planting program that we have talked about. We actually were approached, at the same time that we were discussing this program, we were approached by a group up in Area 1, that sound wall along 80, the backside of it faces along Tupelo. And if you've driven down that road, it's a very long sound wall, but there's absolutely no trees, no shading, no plants at all. And so that community would like to kind of improve the look of that. So really, their timing was good, because we were talking about this program, and that would be an example of a type of project that we could help fund, a neighborhood project, to see if we can get some shading and some greenery over in that neighborhood and really help kick that off. So that, again, is a project that we need a little bit of funding to get started, because we need to do some investigation. There's some Caltrans right away there. There's some underground utility lines. But again, we think probably, maybe $5,000, $6,000, we could work with some firms to do some digging and figure out what's there, and then come up with a planting plan to get that program going. So those are kind of just three ideas that we came up with to improve our infrastructure and provide some grant programs for people interested in improving the canopy in their area. So tonight, our next steps really is just to present these high-level items. As I mentioned, these are all fluid ideas that we've just talked about, and just kind of came up with some initial thoughts. Happy to hear your feedback, take those back. If there's some that you say, yes, that's a definite go, or do some more work, or no, I don't like that, then we'll proceed. We'll develop those programs, come back with a funding plan and a timeline to you after I receive your direction.
Okay, I'm going to start with Councilmember Middleton.
Geez, this is what I get for making eye contact.
Why we start this end, so I thought I'll start that end.
I liked a lot of what you put there. Could you go back to the COOL one? Right, so I like the idea of this, but if it's on private property, right, that's going to become an issue.
But it's a grant, the same as businesses get their sign
I don't
grants.
want to give somebody money for a tree and they kill it. Right? I think it'd be a better idea if we, I like the old Auburn Road Trail enhancement. I think that's a really great opportunity for community involvement. And the tree planting grant program. I mean, there's a lot of folks, as you know, my husband does the Kiwanis and the gardening, and there's a lot of opportunity for kids to kind of, understand how to grow things and how to do stuff. And could you go back one more slide? Maybe one more? Oh, I remember this urban forest contest. That was so much fun. I really love that program. I would love to see that come back.
What did the winner get on that contest?
I think it was $50 to Home Depot.
So that wasn't really expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice, and like in bragging rights, right? It was all over social media, a huge amount of engagement. And the new growth tree giveaway program, I can say that when my youngest boy was born, we actually planted a willow tree in our front yard. Big mistake, don't do that. 'Cause the thing is huge now. It's unwieldy, but I think it's a great idea. So you can kind of watch the trees and watch your kids grow up too. But those are my comments. But putting stuff out there in those parking lots, with water and I don't know, just sounds weird. I mean, I want shade, but also I don't want things to die.
Well, the other end now, just where the Tupelo wall is.
Thank you, Mayor. I love every idea that is in here. I hear you, Councilmember Middleton, about the private property, and I think to move forward with that one, we'd really need to know that everything was in place, the drip lines and everything were in place to make sure that the trees last to the best of our ability. But these are so fun. The new growth idea, just so sweet and heartwarming. So I'd personally love to move forward with that one right away. And the photo contest is really fun. I have a couple favorite trees in the city myself, so I will definitely take photos of them. I actually have some photos already in my phone, I'll be honest. Yeah, fantastic work. This is very exciting. We need more trees, and we also, I think, need to take a moment to be excited about the cool trees we have in the city. So, great job.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I like the Auburn Trail, the idea, concept. That has, even though there's some challenges there, I think it has a lot of. There's an opportunity. There's opportunities for getting really creative when, maybe not planting trees that maybe not really big trees, or getting creative about the types of trees that there are. One of the things that comes to mind for me right now is, these small madrone trees. Madrone burns really hot, so hopefully there's not a concern with fire there, but nonetheless, those are really kind of interesting looking trees. They're not super deep rooted, and they seem to hold up under high wind conditions pretty well. So, and they're really just kind of they're kind of really pretty bark there. But nonetheless, that's just one example. There's probably 100 different examples you could bring to that unique condition where you have lots of utilities. You have to really be careful about what you're planting there. So, but all these ideas look great. I love the new growth idea. I really like that new tree for parents. That's really I think that's kind of cool. So.
All right, thank you, Mayor. I want to lend my interest also to the Urban Forest Photo Contest, but I do have some suggestions because I'm all about engaging youth as much as possible, that we have categories so that we can engage our youth and our professionals, and then our amateur adult photographers as well. So
Good idea.
I just think there's so much fun to be had with having a photo contest on different levels. The other one I also want to support is the Community Tree Planting Grant Program. I think as many ways we can support, a more beautiful sound option, sound deadening option in our communities, the better. And so I really, really like that one. Thank you.
Well, I'm surprised there's $900,000 in this fund, because I can remember back in the old days, we used our tree mitigation money to plant trees in South Sacramento, because if you're going to tear them down, as long as you put them up, they had to go somewhere. And so we planted, and another time we spent our whole fund to assess the oak trees in our cities, their health. And so it never really produced new trees. And we have such a wonderful canopy in our city. So, but I doubt if the 2014 tree inventory is valid today, because we've torn down a lot of trees up Auburn Boulevard. I know we're planting some new ones, but we tore down a lot of trees. So I don't know what that's public, that's not private, that's just public. I support all of these, every single one of these. And so maybe you come up with a budget for all of these. I think all of these have support from all the council members. For new growth, I think it ought to be people that buy a new home as well, because we bought our house in 1991, and you know when you go to the state fair and you go to the forestry department, and they give you a little tree and a little teeny little thing? We planted those 2 trees back in, and now they're huge California redwoods in my front yard. So, we think back then, and so maybe, a lot of people that have babies live in apartments, and they can't plant trees outside their apartments. So if there's a fund, and you designate this much for new growth, tree giveaway, and for certain occasions, buying a new home, they get a vacant lot or a new home that's on a, Casey knows what's going in, that there's no trees, stick a tree there. So kind of like they can build their house and watch their family grow even though they don't have babies. The urban photo, I do support Vice Mayor's idea of, used to do a photo contest in my neighborhood for turkeys. We called it the turkey shoot. And you would take a picture of a turkey that lived in Area 10, and you would compete, and you would win a turkey. So not to knock my favorite guy in our neighborhood, but he used to come with he's a professional photographer, and he always won. And he would only come for that 1-month meeting, and he would win the contest with this professional turkey photo, and he'd take home the turkey. So I'd like to see categories of amateur and kids. I like that idea. It's a very good idea. I am very much in support of the Cool Project, because when I was on the Air Quality Board, it was a big thing with Tree Foundation to come up with businesses that wanted trees, because a lot of them don't want it because it's going to block their signs. And then, anybody you give a tree to has to worry about watering it. And so if they don't have a water source, like in the neighborhoods, you can't just stick a tree in and not have some water for it. So that's a consideration of where you put them. And so I think there's ways that these parking lots are way too hot. And it's hard to park your car and you come back and everything's melted in your car, including your seats. And everybody fights for the 1 or 2 spaces that are under a tree. And you go down Highway 99, and there might be 1 tree in the middle of a cow pasture, and all the cows are standing under it. It's like the 1 tree. And so I like if a business, we do the signage. We gave the private property owners of Dock Hart Brewery money to put up a sign. And if I would think if a business wanted to cool his parking lot and attract, and he didn't care, he didn't have a signage he was going to block, to make it available, to have guidelines, the way we do with our signage grants. And we're not forcing anybody to do it, and it does help our residents to use that for shopping. People like covered parking all the time because it doesn't bleach out their dashboards. So they always put your little blank, your little thing in front of your dashboard. So I like that. And then definitely the trail, got to do the trail. And the neighborhood funding is just as long as you can water it. Come up with a schematic of how to spend the money, and I think the council would like all of these. Anybody hate you don't hate cool, do you really?
No. I just don't want to see trees die.
Well, if they take care of it, and they go 50-50, right? So they get an investment in it, it's not just our money, so they
And we
put
can
up-
work with them to make sure their infrastructure investment is in there too before just trees.
So they have something to lose if they let it die. And then we can always send them the free arborist.
Right.
Okay, I changed my mind.
Okay, change your mind.
Thank you for that feedback. We'll gather that
We
that
are a Tree
information.
City USA. We are listed
That's
as Tree City USA, so we are definitely trees.
We'll be back with program details on each of those.
And then weren't we going to, at one point, Mary Poole was going to do a tree event right around Arbor Day? We should spend some of that money and have a tree event.
We should do that.
We love events.
We do.
We're a city of events.
Madam Mayor, we'll be talking about events at the next meeting.
But we are an event city. We got to admit, it's one event after another. They're fun. Okay, so anyway, that's my thoughts. And if anybody wants to add anything since I spoke, anything to disagree with me, okay.
Thank you.
Great ideas, Allison. Really good ideas.
All right, our next item is regular calendar, item number 14. The subject is options for residential garbage and recycling procurement. The recommendation is that the City Council receive the presentation and provide direction related to procurement options for a new residential waste collection and recycling contract for the term beginning on January 1st, 2028.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council, Mary Poole with the General Services Department, and with me is Carrie Baxter with our consultant team, R3 Consulting Group, and we're here tonight to talk about. We are here tonight to talk about the residential solid waste and recycling services. As a brief overview, we're going to talk about the purpose here tonight, some legislative parameters, a history of the current agreement, and a summary of that agreement, challenges and opportunities, the procurement pathways, and next steps. And what I'd like to do is walk through the presentation, and then there's an opportunity at the end for significant City Council feedback. But certainly if you have questions along the way, we are here. So the reason we're here tonight, the contract with Republic Services expires at the end of 2027. Generally, it's about 12 months or more to issue a new contract if you go through a procurement. So we are looking to you tonight to receive direction on whether or not to proceed with the 60-day negotiation with Republic Services or go directly out to the market with a RFP. If a negotiation is selected, that could still result in an RFP if the parties are unable to come to agreement on terms. And then in addition, we are looking to receive some input on elements to consider as part of this process, whether or not it's an RFP or negotiation. So just to remind everyone that we are under a number of state legislative mandates as we implement our waste management plan, starting with AB 939 that set the 50% diversion rules that came into effect right after we became incorporated. And since then, a number of different legislative acts have occurred, most recently with SB 1383, which was the most expansive and required us to do organics recycling on every aspect of our waste management world. Specifically, we were required to update our ordinance to be in compliance, update operations, include compliance monitoring to make sure that we were in fact doing organics recycling and doing it properly, include education, and then most recently to include enforcement. And that was all wrapped into the amendment with Republic Services in 2021. So just to step back briefly to talk about residential versus commercial. Tonight we're talking about residential. Residential services in Citrus Heights are handled under one exclusive franchise agreement that is awarded by the City Council, and it provides services to all single-family residents. We have about 27 single-family residents or residential customers, which include the single-family households, duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes.
What was that number, 27?
About 27,000. And then multifamily and businesses are all handled under the commercial side. In the commercial world, we can have multiple haulers. They need to be franchised, but they can apply for a franchise agreement. We issue them every year. And once they have that agreement, they are able to compete within the city for the customers, commercial customers that we have. So again, tonight is about residential. So to talk about our history of our residential services agreement, back in 2004, we issued our first RFP for residential services. We did it in concert with the City of Rancho Cordova. Citrus Heights received one proposal from BFI, later Allied, now Republic, and the City Council approved and awarded a contract to BFI Allied Waste in July. That contract started 2 years later, probably 18 months later, in 2006, and the initial term was in 2012. That was the initial end of the term. Over the life of that contract, there have been a number of amendments The first in 2006 to update our neighborhood cleanup program. Originally was an on-call. It moved to a scheduled program. Then we had a series of amendments in 2011 and 2016, which were negotiated extensions. The 2011 amendment included rate reductions. There were 2 consecutive years where the rate went down 5%. At the end of that term, rates were still lower than they were in 2010. In 2016, there was another negotiated extension where rates were frozen. And at the end of 2019, the rates still were lower than they were in 2010. And there was a ceiling enacted at that point of a maximum 3.5% based on a CPI. In 2017, an amendment was enacted to move the HHW from a drop-off event at Sunrise Mall to a year-round access to the North Area Recovery Station on Watt Avenue, or on Roseville Road, sorry. And then in 2021, as I spoke about before, we were required to add the SB 1383 organics, recycling, and all the related administration into the contract. And then most recently in 2024, another amendment to reinstate penalties for the early neighborhood cleanup material set out, which I'll talk about in a little bit. The total contract term will be 21 years as of the end of 2027. So the current agreement includes trash, mixed organics, recycling, and a number of other added value services. The rates are based on the size of your trash cart, and most of our customers, about 65%, have the 64-gallon or the medium subscription level, which is around $33 a month. That rate is inclusive of all of the services, which are listed on the next slide. So those include the weekly or garbage and organics, every other week recycling, curbside oil and filter recycling, battery recycling. This occurs on recycling collection day, appointment-based home sharps collection, and the neighborhood cleanup program, which is 3 times per year on a schedule and up to 10 yards per collection. And there are a number of added value services also in the package that are not all listed here, but some of them are the garbage and recycling services that are provided at city facilities, garbage recycling and porta potty services at city events, and up to 600 yards of illegal dumping pickup, and plus an array of other added value services that Republic provides.
I have a question.
Yes.
So not on there is the fact that you can get a second recycle bucket, 2 recycle, with no extra fee.
Correct.
So you can have 2 recycle buckets.
You can.
If you have a lot of recycling material.
You can. And you can also set cardboard at the side of your recycle cart if it's broken down. So there's a lot of extra services.
Okay.
The extra leaf pickup that's just started this month. In addition, the current agreement includes administration, customer service, and compliance, which is the public education, the billing service, the SB 1383 required extend education, route audits, inspections, penalties. Those are all built into the contract, and the city monitors and enforces. In addition, there's a minimum diversion requirement. So if Republic doesn't meet that 40% diversion, then there's penalties. They've never had a penalty yet. And then the customer service and administration fee, HHW, the customers pay an HHW fee on their, as part of their rate that allows them to go to the North Area Recovery Station, who then bills us when they turn in their materials. And then there's a franchise fee. Where does the trash go? Trash is delivered to Elder Creek Transfer Station, and it's hauled to Forward Landfill. It's about 133 miles round trip. We have a local, or Republic has a local Republic-owned facility for processing and marketing mixed recyclables. This is on Watt Avenue. And then plastics go locally considered in the business because that goes to the United States-based center, and that's their polymer center in Las Vegas. And then organics are delivered to, they're transferred through the transfer station and then hauled to various processing facilities in Northern California. If we want to talk about rates, we can proudly say that Citrus Heights enjoys the lowest or among the lowest. I haven't found a lower rate yet, and I look frequently, but the lowest rates for the most services for sure in the region. And this chart just shows where Citrus Heights ranks with our neighbors. At our low rate of $33.04 per month, average is $40, and you can see the city of Sacramento comes in at the highest of $54.08. Though I will say their rate does include street sweeping. Next, we're going to talk about some challenges and opportunities. One of our big challenges, and it goes right in line with what Director Cave was talking about with our road pavement maintenance program. Truck traffic from refuse vehicles is one of the major impacts on our roads. In fact, it is estimated at $2.9 million in maintenance costs for the impacts of our roads from refuse collection vehicles. We have some opportunities there. We can look to our haulers, either through negotiation or through the RFP process, to see how can they propose ways to reduce truck impacts via collection or processing innovations. We can also evaluate opportunities to offset these costs, whether that be through a franchise fee adjustment or impact recovery provisions that are being evaluated from our consultant and our legal team. We could also look at the fact that we have materials traveling long distances before it's landfilled and request local landfill options. That could be something that is added to the either negotiation or RFP as a discussion point or an additive alternate. We've heard recently and consistently that household hazardous waste drop-off at NARS can be challenging for some residents. It came up, it's been coming up at neighborhood meetings. I've heard from the mayor and others, and so this is an opportunity for us to include a local household hazardous waste drop-off event as part of our service package. Additional considerations align with vehicles and fleet emissions. So currently we have compressed natural gas vehicles being used by Republic Services as their fleet. Republic has let us know that they are looking at electrifying their fleet. At the same time, these vehicles are significantly heavier than comparable electric vehicles are heavier than comparable CNG or diesel trucks. So that's something to keep in mind. That could change. But right now, that's what the industry information is. So we might look at options for a additive alternate for electric vehicles or hybrid fleets, and those could be weighed as part of the evaluation process. Street sweeping is another consideration that has been talked about for several city council meetings, and staff is recommending that street sweeping for residential streets be incorporated into the next agreement. This would really help align services between the garbage and recycling days and especially the neighborhood cleanup schedules. If this was something that was moved forward, then costs associated with residential streets could be included in the customer rates, and the arterial portion and any other extra work that the street sweepers do would be separate and billed separately to the city. The next item is franchise fees that are currently at 10%. And this is one where the consultant and legal team are reviewing our current franchise system, and they'll be making recommendations as we come back for what would be the best way to structure that.
What's the dollar amount of that 10%?
I would have to get back to you on the exact dollar amount.
Do we know the dollar amount? Is it,
I actually have it, the budget right here.
oh, you have it? Okay, thank you.
Go.
Okay, I'll read this.
Okay. The next section is community input. So we wanted to look at customer satisfaction as we're going through this process. And so customer satisfaction and input, although we have certainly extensive customer input over the past 21 years, we also wanted to provide some actual data-driven information. So we have a summary of Republic's annual surveys that they're required to do by contract for the last 5 years. We also conducted a flash vote that finished just last week. We've been collecting data from neighborhood meetings, and if there's an interest to do an additional community survey, we could certainly do that in the next couple of months. For the Republic Services generated surveys, in fact, there's one out on the streets right now. Consistently, results come in with 90% of customers reporting that they're satisfied or very satisfied. This is the response that comes in every year. Similarly, the flash vote that the city just conducted, where we asked, think of the amount you pay every month and the overall quality. What is your satisfaction rate? And 93% responded with between okay, good, and excellent. So very consistent with what is coming in from the annual surveys that Republic conducts. We also have been looking at community input for the neighborhood cleanup program. This started in 2024 in response to a city council strategic objective to address blight associated with the neighborhood cleanup program. And as staff was coming up with recommendations, it was decided to do a flash vote and see what community input would result. And within that flash vote, there was a 90% response of residents using the neighborhood cleanup services, a very strong support for the program, and the most common recommendation was to hold to the 48-hour set-out rule. In response to that, the amendment was put in place later in 2024 to implement the penalties associated with early set-out after 48 hours. And that's been in effect since January of 2025, with penalties starting in May. Just recently, to just test that and see if we were on the right path, we included a question in the flash vote, getting a very similar response, with 92% of respondents using the service within the past 12 months. Lots of comments. This flash vote included several opportunities for open-ended responses, of which the respondents gave us a ton of information. Many comments appreciating the scheduled 3 times per year, a few who didn't like the scheduled bulky pickup, and some who would like to see an on-call option. So that is in your considerations this evening. And then coming up in the open-ended questions again was this desire for a local HHW collection event. Next, we have procurement pathways. So before you tonight, we're asking you to provide direction on whether we move to a negotiation or directly to a request for procurement process. So some of the opportunities within a negotiation process would be improved customer service and customer service access. These are things we would ask for as part of the negotiation. We would want to see low customer rates. We'd want to include street sweeping services, or at least have that as an option. Certainly ensure compliance with SB 1383. Possibly look at something to help us solve our high-density neighborhoods where we have the 3 carts and lots of cars and a lot of congestion. Compost procurement. This, if we do go the route of a negotiation, then that could avoid the cost and length of a procurement process, and we could start benefits sooner. At the same time, going to an RFP, we could enjoy all of those benefits except the last 2. Plus, we could test the market. There are multiple haulers, several of whom are in this room, who have expressed interest in becoming the city's next residential service provider. And some of them bring opportunities for innovative solutions and service delivery that may not be available with our current service provider. Elements that we would want to consider as part of a new agreement would be a 10-year term, making sure that the collection fleet meets clean air requirements. Should there be an interest in electric vehicles or some other type of specifications, perhaps those could be included as an additive alternate. As we talked about, the pilot program for innovative diversion and collection. As far as facilities are concerned, if there are local options desired versus what the hauler might propose, those might be included as an additive alternate. Including items as an additive alternate allows for better prices overall, because your proposers are going to give you what they think they can do at the best price, but we can also see what we might want regardless of the price, or considering the price. All of the regular features of our current program seem to be working well. We would want to include them. However, with the bulky item collection, it would be good to know if there's an interest in making any changes to that, or if we stay with the 3 times per year at 10 yards. Street sweeping, again, is something we'd like to get your input on, and also the annual local HHW event.
Mary, one second. Do you know what we pay for street sweeping now?
Pardon?
Like 515,000 a year.
Oh, for street sweeping, thank you. Either way, a new agreement, if we go the RFP or negotiations route, the new rates would go into effect January 1, 2028, adjusting annually and capped at 3.5% based on the CPI that is currently being used. These are our recommendations. If we do go with an RFP and a new hauler is selected, we really do need the 12 months in order to allow the new hauler to ramp up their operations, get new trucks, set up their infrastructure, and be ready to roll on January 1, 2028. So that's why we need the 12 months. And this is an RFP. If the RFP is just determined it to be the direction that we go, it's a proposal process, not a bid process, so the selection isn't bound by the lowest price. We recommend that a selection committee be established who would review the proposals, do site visits, interviews, and then come back to the city council with their recommendation. This is the proposed schedule. We're in November doing the update, getting your direction tonight. November through January would be the drafting of the franchise agreement and potentially negotiations with Republic Services. Should there be interest in an additional community input, then a citywide survey can be issued, and neighborhood association meetings are ongoing, and any neighborhood that would like us to come out is more than welcome. We'll be out. In January through February would be the decision point. So if the negotiation, we come back, we present the terms, if they're agreeable to the council, then we would go ahead and draft the final agreement and bring it back for approval in May. If it's a RFP, then that would trigger the final draft franchise agreement and RFP, which would be issued in March. Proposals would be due in May. And then the evaluation would commence. The review committee would be doing their work May through July and come back before the city council in August with a recommendation for a new contract. Either way, we would look at doing the public hearing on any type of rate adjustments in 2027 and starting new services in 2028. And with that, I'll leave it here on this slide, looking for your direction specifically relative to the negotiation or RFP direction, and then your feedback on specific elements listed here or any other ones that you would like us to consider and include in the process.
Okay, so first questions, then I'm going to get public comment, and then we can make our comments. So are there any questions first to clarify anything?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You mentioned that we could possibly have more local landfill options. Do those exist already, or? Okay.
They do.
Where are they?
So we have, I'll actually let Carrie speak to that. She knows better than I do.
So we've got a landfill in Sacramento County that would be an option, and then there's also to the other direction in Placer County, there's a landfill as well, so much closer than Forward, which is.
And does
that
that
in
save
Lincoln?
us money, changing that closer landfills? I mean, what's the point of it?
It would definitely save the environment, not having the CO2 emissions happening by driving all those vehicles in so much further of a distance. Savings on cost to dispose at different landfills would be dependent on the cost of the tipping fee. And that would be up to the provider that's providing the service to negotiate.
So I'd like to get some clarification. So on our current contract, based on the current rate of $33.04, correct, per month, but the rate's been lower at some point, right? So, but the total contract dollars we're talking about is a little over $100 million, correct?
That sounds about right.
Okay. So, and the assumption would be that it's not going to go down. So it's very likely this would probably be maybe 120 or 130 million for a new contract for the next 10 years. Does that sound reasonable?
It does.
Yeah. So I don't know that we have ever, or we typically don't run across a contract of this size ever or often. Maybe bigger cities that run into this, but this is a pretty big contract for us. And so I just wanted to sort of put that out there. A little bit of the concern is, can you, and maybe the city manager or somebody else here can kind of explain. I have our budget numbers from last year, and we're receiving about, for 23 and 24, 700,962. It seems like it's a little low compared to the 10% we would have thought we would be getting, which would be close to maybe $1 million instead of 700,000. And then in 26, 27, it's projected to be at 650,000 in franchise fees for solid waste. So that's, yeah,
I think that might be the commercial fees. There's a franchise fee on commercial as well as residential, so depending on which you're looking at.
this just says solid waste, and then there's franchise fees that's not labeled, and there's franchise fees on solid waste. I don't know how to, where those numbers.
Where else do we get franchise fees from?
Well, I think tonight, council, what we're looking for from a direction standpoint is if there's something you want us to explore, whether it's a RFP or if it's the negotiation with their existing hauler, if you want us to look at franchise fees and do a further analysis of that, we can. In our budget, we have both the franchise fees and we also have non-general fund solid waste fees. And as Mary Poole was just mentioning, we do collect those from our residential hauler as well as commercial. So there's some distinction between those. And then also I want to make sure that if we're answering that question specifically, that we're not commingling it with potentially other franchise fees that we may receive. So, but if the general direction of the council is like, hey, I'd like you to explore a maximization of the franchise fees, for instance, or these solid waste funds, or a better understanding of that when you bring it forward relative to either the negotiation or the RFP, that general direction would be kind of what we'd be looking tonight. And then we can have a further breakdown of that relative to our budget, as well as any kind of projections in the future.
Thank you.
You bet.
Any question? I have a question on street sweeping. So do the multifamily residential pay to have the streets swept, since you're paying $515,000 covers the entire city?
Street sweeping is paid for with a combination of commercial solid waste.
Right, but
which would be the
covers the whole
multifamily.
city, the $515,000
Right.
for the entire city.
Correct.
And so what happens to the commercial pieces and the multifamily pieces? Do they share? If the residential customer has to pay for street sweeping, are we sweeping the streets of the apartment buildings and all that, or are they?
The recommendation is that the local roads, the residential streets would be included in the customer rate. But the arterials, where the multifamilies generally are, would be, and the collectors would be covered under the outside of that contract. So currently, commercial fees actually help offset those costs for those arterial streets.
Do you
already.
sweep streets that don't have curb and gutter?
Yes,
So what, you just go push them where? They just
they're
sweep
just
them?
sweeping along the curb, the
There's no
side
curb
of the
and gutter.
road.
There's no curb or gutter.
The
then.
side of the road, right, yeah. For example, Mariposa is swept. It doesn't have curb and gutter all the way, but Mariposa is swept. So whether or not there is curb and gutter, we're still providing that street sweeping to try and make sure that we're not having that debris go into the stormwater system. And also keep our roads free and clear of debris. So those roads are swept. Private roads are not swept.
But isn't the stormwater system off the side of the road? It's not on the road?
Yes,
So you're
we're
sweeping the
keeping
street
debris
into
from
the
going
stormwater gutter?
into the stormwater system.
Water and it pushes stuff on down the road.
Okay. That's my questions. Any other questions? Questions? Public comment, please.
Mayor, I just wanted to note that we do have 29 public comment speakers, so I just wanted to check with council if you'd like to
Well,
proceed
maybe
with
we'll
those.
cut that down to 2 minutes. So I think 2 minutes, and if you can just ditto somebody else's comment, if, that would be appreciative. Otherwise, we'll be here, we'll have to take a break because that's a long time. Want to take a break now? We're going to take a break now, and then we'll come back for public comment. The consensus is a break now.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute recess.
5 minutes, that's good. Okay, let's get our room back in order. We appreciate you, why is my mic not on? It doesn't sound like it is. Is yours on?
Are the mics working?
The mics aren't on.
The mics aren't on. The mics aren't,
No, they are.
okay.
Anyway, thank you all for letting us take that little break. We need it. So now we'll do public comment, and we're going to limit you to 2 minutes. And if you can say ditto to somebody who is, in front of you, or just make your bottom line known to us, we appreciate if you could speed it along. Otherwise, we'll be here just an hour for public comment. So we want to give everybody a chance to speak, so do your best, and let's go, Amy.
The first public comment is Tim Reber, and then followed with Terrence McNamers.
Hello, Tim Reiber with Green Waste Recovery, and I want to thank the mayor, vice mayor, and council for allowing me to speak. Green Waste would be an interested participant in the RFP process. Providing essential services is key to a sustainable and vibrant community such as Citrus Heights. And we respect the fact that Republic's had the contract for over 20 years, but it's in the city's best interest to see what other options are out there. We are an innovator in the waste recycling and processing facility. Our MRF in San Jose is the 5th largest processing center in the country, as well as our C&D processing center in San Jose is also the 5th largest C&D processing center in the country. And we have a processing center here in Sacramento County that processes C&D recycling and has the capability for expansion to handle all types of waste and recyclable commodities. We service nearly 20 cities in Northern California, and we are Northern California based. All of our decisions are based here in Northern California, in San Jose, and we are continuing to expand our network with collection and processing facilities throughout Northern California, and we would appreciate the opportunity to participate in the RFP. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for being brave.
Good evening. I'm Terrence McNamara. I'm the general manager for Atlas Disposal in Sacramento. I've also got my CEO, Brian Waters, with me. We're a local waste service provider, and we, as was pointed out, provide residential service to many multifamily residences in Citrus Heights currently. We've been a part of this community since our founding. Tonight, I encourage you to to issue a request for proposals. An RFP is about good governance, and it ensures residents are receiving the best possible service at the best possible value. Waste hauling is one of your largest contracts, as Councilmember Schaefer pointed out, and as stewards of the taxpayer dollar, it's fair to test the market. By opening up the process, you'll increase transparency. The public deserves confidence that this decision is being made fairly, competitively, and with accountability. As noted, the waste industry has changed. There are new innovations. The city should be in a position to take advantage of those new innovations. And an RFP allows you to ask all the bidders, including your incumbent, to propose those things. Importantly, the RFP doesn't mean you have to switch providers. We've heard a lot of good things about Republic already tonight. If they're still your best fit, then they'll win the contract. But by going through the process, you will ensure that the decision is data-driven, competitive, and in the best interest of your constituents. In short, putting this out to bid protects the city, encourages innovation, and builds public trust. I urge you to direct staff to issue the RFP before the current agreement expires. We're a local company. We have local operations. We have a local executive team. Our customer service facility is in Rancho Cordova, and we would appreciate a chance to compete fairly for this business. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next is Elijah Wilbur, and then following will be David Ingram.
Elijah's not here yet to go home.
So then David Ingram.
Good evening, and thanks for the opportunity to speak. My name is David Ingram. I'm a co-founder of River City Waterway Alliance, which is an all-volunteer group that cleans up local waterways in the Sacramento region. We were launched in January 2023. Another co-founder, Lisa Sanchez, is here, along with one of our Arcade Creek stewards, Lilia Hogan, who is our steward for Citrus Heights. We have removed over 3.4 million pounds of trash from local waterways just since we launched, and most of that in the creeks, a lot of it in Arcade Creek. And as we've worked our way up from Hagen Oaks up the Arcade Creek corridor, 7 contiguous miles, we reached Citrus Heights a couple years ago, and we started working into the Citrus Heights through Lilia's stewardship, working with Armando with General Services. We were looking for a community partner in the area because we didn't really have a great community partner, at least a private one, anywhere else in any of our other project areas, which include the American River Parkway, Steelhead Creek, the Sacramento River. And out of nowhere came Republic Services. And all of a sudden we had this amazing private partner right here in the community. Working with Megan, she is our liaison. She's provided full support for us in over 6 or 8 different cleanups. And so far we've removed almost 50,000 pounds of trash from Arcade Creek just in Citrus Heights. And Republic Services has been a sponsor and a promoter of about 6 or 8 of those, as I mentioned. And we've removed about 20,000 pounds of trash working with them. They provide a dumpster for us. And not only that, they don't just show up for a photo op. They actually bring a team of people that get in the creek with us with shovels and remove stuff from the creek. And it's unheard of. We haven't had a private partner like that before. So I'm really impressed with them. If you have been to one of our cleanups before, could you raise your hand?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive. We have done amazing things, and I support them wholeheartedly because it's more than just the money. You have a community here of people that care, and thank you.
Next is Lisa Sanchez, and following will be Bailey Zier.
Hello, my name is Lisa Sanchez, and I volunteer with River City Waterway Alliance, David Ingram and Lilia Hogan. I do want to lend my full support also for Republic Services. They are a company that we accidentally ran into and came into full partnership with because of Megan, and we do appreciate her reaching out to us as a volunteer group. We're here to clean the creeks and the waterways, and by having their support to come and dispose of the illegal dumping and the trash that has quite literally lined the bottom of our creeks has been very helpful for us. The amount of work and labor it takes for us to actually dig stuff out, shopping carts, mattresses, tents, tarps, sleeping bags, garbage bags, the debris is just enormous. And so to haul something that's wet and heavy and muddy up and out of a creek, and then for us to have to figure out how to bring it to a waste disposal site was a little much for us to handle here. And so with, again, Republic Services, we were elated to have their partnership. They offered to not only sponsor us, but to actively ask to help us at every point in time that we've needed. So as somebody who doesn't live in Citrus Heights, I am quite surprised at how much they have been appreciated with 90% satisfaction rate, along with the lowest rates around. I live in Sacramento County. I can imagine that renewing their contract would just be such a benefit to community, because again, living in Sacramento County, I would like to have those services as well, and I don't. So please, I thank you for your support, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bailey Zier, and I am missing spaghetti night to be here to talk to you about trash. I almost never think about trash, and that's a good thing. For over 10 years, I've been a Citrus Heights resident, and in all that time, I haven't had a single complaint about the service. As a busy mom and sometimes forgetful, I often miss trash day, and I call them all the time, and they are nothing but helpful to me. I also want to highlight their involvement in our community. Republic Services doesn't just operate here, they show up here. They support our schools, they invest in our local programs, and they are truly woven into the fabric of Citrus Heights. Their support of the San Juan Education Foundation is a perfect example. As someone who serves on the board with Colin, I've seen firsthand how committed Republic is to strengthening our school district and giving back in a meaningful and impactful way. With no significant service issues, changing providers would be disruptive to 100% of Citrus Heights residents. And given the high cost of issuing an RFP, I do not support going out to bid at this time. Republic is more than just a business partner. They are a community partner, they employ our residents, they invest in our city, and they are fully immersed in the Citrus Heights community. And honestly, the benchmarking and satisfaction statistics we just saw tell you everything you need to know to make this decision. Benchmarking against peer entities shows that Citrus Heights residents are already paying some of the lowest rates, all while receiving high quality, reliable service and exceptional community support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Tom Stedman, and following him will be Jim Oswald.
Hi, my name is Tom Stedman. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Hi.
Don't interrupt. No, I'm only kidding.
I know her real good. So, her husband's with the Kiwanis Club. I'm the president this year, and I know what he went through. I'm here to represent Republic for what they do for us as Kiwanian, and all of the events that they help us with. And after helping us, I see them all over the city at all of the events, from the Halloween truck and treat, basically, they're there in person. The leadership of their company is there, and they will have also the help on doing just about anything needs to be done. I'll make mine short.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Jim Oswald, and following him will be Gavin Ayers, and feel free to please line up to be ready following the
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. I'm a truck driver, not a public speaker, but I'm also a resident of Citrus Heights, raised my family here, love this place. That's why I thought it's going to be easy to talk about two things that I love, Citrus Heights and Republic. Hearing all the comments, I think what I should talk about, the Vice Mayor talked about it in her report. Every day I have residents telling me, thank you, and that we appreciate you, and all that kind of thing. Thanks for going the extra mile for us. So I get that every single day. I'm sure all of my drivers do. Also, I'm the trainer, and so I've trained about half of our team. Republic is big on safety. It's been number one. I've worked with a number of leadership teams, and they just continue to amaze me by always doing the right thing. So that's what I got.
Thank you.
And following Gavin Ayers will be Brian Morris.
Hi, my name's Gavin Ayers. I live in Citrus Heights. I've lived here for 26 years, and I also work for Republic Service the last 10. Republic Service is a great company. We all, everyone's my neighbor. I live on route because I'm always there. And I grew up in Carmichael, so I've seen Sacramento County as it was, and I watched Citrus Heights grow and become something bigger and better. And Allied Waste was there, and we still have guys that are from Allied Waste that work with us. And we keep working hard to keep it going. They train the other guys. Republic Service is a great company, and I wish to stay with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Following Brian Morris will be Aurelia Walker.
Good evening. My name is Brian Morris. I teach 7th grade here in Citrus Heights at Lycan K-8. I teach English and history, but this year I am also the new gardening teacher as part of our site's initiative to align our elective program with career technical education happening in our high schools. Each middle school teacher was instructed to find a class and to begin teaching a class that aligns with one of those high school career technical education classes. The class that I chose to teach was a garden. That garden would not have been possible without the support, not only financial, but also coming out to build and provide supplies from Republic Services. At our site, they have been a consistent community partner. They are regularly out at the site, not associated with the garden. Last year, they also had one of their electric vehicles out. 7th grade students were allowed to come out and view the vehicle, get inside, check it out. They've been a regular face on our campus. I'll make mine short. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Following Aurelia Walker will be Ray Robinson.
Good evening. My name is Aurelia Walker. I am a caregiver. I'm a resident of Citrus Heights for over 15 years. And also I'm a CEO and founder of Mike's Playground here in Citrus Heights, which I will be creating special need equipment for our special need children. And I'm here to let you know how important Republic Service has been for me in the community. One, they give us 3 cleanups to help us to keep our home decluttered. They also help the community, especially in the parks that we so much love and to be in. And it is important that Republic Service has been here for a very long time. They know our streets and the uniqueness of them to help the community. Why fix something that isn't broken? Thank you.
Thank you.
And next is Ray Robinson, and then following will be Lilia Hogan.
Good evening, Mayor Kropinski-Costa, council members, and city staff. My name is Ray Robinson. I'm the municipal supervisor for Republic Services. Usually I'm up here presenting our environmental scholarships or our annual report, but today I get to talk literally about what Republic does and what we do in the community. So Republic Services, we're leaders in sustainability, we're leading in electrification, we're leading in AI technology, as well as being human-centered individuals. We're out in the community every single day. Mayor, you mentioned that this is event city. There's nearly no event that happens in this city that we're not at. And we make sure that beyond what's required of us, we take that extra step. So if you heard some people today say that Republic is donating money, Republic is there on boots on the ground, Republic is doing something. We're always doing something, and we're doing it for this city. My team, Megan, who you heard about earlier, Anna, who's not here today, but we're speaking for her. We've been in this community for years now. We want to continue to do that. We work with city staff such as Mary Poole, trying to improve outreach and education, which our department specializes in. One of the things, going back to our leading in technology and sustainability, is that the AI apps that we are using now are capturing more information about the materials that we see, and that is informing the types of material and education that we are delivering to your residents. So trying to build and build each year, and we love the opportunity to do it once more.
Thank you.
So next is Lilia Hogan, and following will be Sherry Merrick.
Good evening. My name is Lilia Hogan. I am a community member. I've been here for 25 years now. I have zero complaints about my services from a public services. I've never had an issue, which is awesome. I love my service. My kids love to do it now. They've trained them very well. So, but more than that, as I was mentioned earlier, I am a member of the River City Waterway Alliance, an all-volunteer group that go into the creeks to clean the trash from our very polluted waterways. I live here in Stock Ranch, and a beautiful Arcade Creek right behind me, and I saw how just destroyed it was with all the trash. And with the help of our amazing volunteers, we would go in and take all the trash out, but we were stuck having to haul our own trash away. And then when Megan came and her group came into the picture, they hauled it for us, and it was just a huge, huge benefit to our group. We didn't have to haul it ourselves, which we typically do, all the way to the dump. David does it himself in his own truck and trailer. But to have Megan there bring us a dumpster, and we could fill it with her folks as well, with her team in attendance and our volunteers all together working, we have been able to remove tens of thousands, or with 20,000 pounds just in Citrus Heights alone. We've done 3 million pounds overall of our group in 3 years, but just in our little stretch between Greenback and pretty much Stock Ranch is as far as we've gone. And that's been huge help for us. I just want to say thank you to Megan and her team and all our public services, and we hope to continue working with them because we have a lot to do. And we'd like to see all you out there with us.
Thank you. Following Sherry Merrick will be Elazar Jones.
Hello, Madam Mayor and Madam Vice Mayor, Council, and staff. I am Sherry Merrick. I am the Executive Director of the Citrus Heights Chamber of Commerce. And I just want to share my interactions with Republic Services. They have been an amazing partner with the Chamber of Commerce. Colin sits on my board of directors, and I have to say I have not had one harebrained idea of a program that I want to bring to our business community that they have not stood up and supported. When I know I want to do a program and I need support, I can reach out not only for the monies, but for the bodies to come and support us. And I actually have heard from many community members that have said that the customer service goes above and beyond, and I actually was able to witness it one day when I was behind a big blue truck and it stopped. The gentleman got out, ran down the driveway and pulled the can out because someone forgot to pull out their can. So I think that's some pretty amazing customer service, and so I just wanted to make sure I shared that information with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you, Sherry.
You too.
Next is Elazar Jones. He's also not here. Next is Diane Evett Reilly, and then following will be Tony Perez.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I'm Diane Evett Reilly. And first of all, I want to say I love Republic Services. And in fact, Raymond is in our Rotary Club. and they have done wonderful things for this community, for Rotary. However, I am the past executive director of the Citrus Heights Chamber of Commerce. I'm also a current business owner with my husband, Ray. I also serve on the Citrus Heights Veterans Memorial Project. I'm on the board of directors for HEART. I'm also on the board of directors for Rotary, and I volunteer with the Citrus Heights Police Department. Why do I tell you this? It's because in all of these situations or organizations, if we want a new printer, if we want a new caterer, or something like that, we always send out an RFP. We don't give it to our best friend or somebody that we've known for a long time. We go and we ask for an RFP. Why do we do this? It's because an open process invites companies to compete, driving down costs through innovation and efficiency, so residents get the lowest possible rates and maximum value for every tax dollar. It upholds transparency by mandating clear public evaluation criteria and documented pricing, eliminating any hint of favoritism or strengthening public trust, strengthening public trust. And it improves service quality. When providers must earn the contract, they deliver better reliability, advanced recycling options, and stronger environmental practices. Again, RFPs ensure fairness, transparency, and the very best service for Citrus Heights. Thank you.
Following Tony Perez will be Sergey Ivanikov.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, and city staff. My name is Tony Perez. I'm the area manager with FCC Environmental Services. We currently are the operators at the Western Placer Waste Management Authority, disposal site mentioned by the staff earlier. We currently handle the MRF, C&D, compost, public disposal, HHW, and the landfill on site. FCC Environmental Services has a global presence and a strong backing. We serve over 14 million Americans across 7 states in the United States. We also empower leaders to make local decisions and to provide the best customer service available to provide a better customer impact. On behalf of FCC Environmental, we would be honored to be considered as a potential bidder should this go out to an RFP. Thank you for your time and for your consideration.
Following Sergey Ivanikov will be Alyssa Yurchenko.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council members. My name is Sergey Ivanikov. I'm founder and CEO of Russian American Media, company that was born 28 years ago. And big part of the audience we serve, it's a Russian-speaking community living in Citrus Heights. So city of Citrus Heights is one of the largest region representing our SLAIC community. And I want to say that Republic Services, not just a leader in sustainable waste management, they are also a great partner. They are valued community partner committed to public education and environmental stewardship. Republic Services actively educate Citrus Heights members and regional residents about recycling, ecology, about hazard waste and organic processing through Russian American media publications, websites, social media, and also community events. For the past decades, Republic Services has supported our major community events with engaging recycling programs, hands-on activities, and dedicated volunteers, especially at large community events like International Kids Festival that engage Citrus Heights residents and bringing together more than 15,000 people at the free community festival. We had more than 100 volunteers that were presented by Republic Services, and it was help with all garbage and waste management. Thank you very much. I would like to support Republic Services.
Спасибо.
Following Alyssa will be Mariana Elritska.
Good evening. My name is Alisa Yurchenko. I am President of Council for Cross-Cultural Affairs.
Can you closer to the microphone? Because
Okay.
thank you.
Republic Services is our big partner for all our community events. I am here to support Republic Services. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Mariana, and I am a resident of Citrus Heights 7 years. Republic Services support my city and local community organization. They are more than just a trash company. They are our community friend and partner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Abdukov Yelena, and then following will be Roman July.
Good evening, council members. My name is Yelena Budkova, and I'm representing one of the companies innovating my insurance located at 7777 Greenback Lane. So I cannot but mention this amazing address. We have this company created about 30 years ago to help the communities to get knowledge about medical insurance, financial programs, and we're working very closely with different communities, with the different cultures, with the different, traditions. But, the reason I'm here today to support the Republic system, because from our clients, we have thousands and thousands of people that we help together. And so they said that it's so important for them because they're so educated. They're involved in all the events that we're providing for the communities. This company is supporting us from different angles. And so it's very, very well known, not only in the Citrus Heights, but in the other communities as well. That's why I'm here to say that I'm supporting them.
Thank you.
And following Roman July will be David B. Shelton.
Hello, everyone. My name is Roman July, and I'm representing the cultural heritage of Slavic community. I came to support Republic Service of Citrus Heights City, a sustainable solutions company that deeply involved in Slavic community life. Thank you, Republic.
Thank you.
And following David B. Shelton will be Alina.
My name is David B. Shelton. I wish to thank the council for allowing me time to express my opinion. This is about trash pickup, not residential garbage and recycling collection services. Citrus Heights is now having staff present options to the City Council on how to change the current contract with Republic Services on our weekly trash pickup. Our current cost is $1.10 a day. In Elk Grove, it's $1.18. In Rancho Cordova, it's $1.22. In Folsom, it's $1.65. In the city of Sacramento, it's $1.75. Only Citrus Heights and Elk Grove use Republic Services. These rates are the lowest. Citrus Heights is a unique city. When you have a golden goose, you don't kill the goose, you cherish it. It would be my opinion to make a mistake to proceed with an RFP. That's a request for proposal. Normally, you only have one bidder responding. However, an RFP would cost $350,000. And even that negotiation, if we go to 60-day negotiation, staff estimates that's going to cost $50,000. Even $50,000 seems to be excessive to me, but it is what it is. I strongly urge the City Council to enter into a 60-day discussion with Republic Waste. Any desired changes or additions to service should be done in discussion as we have done over the last 10 years. There should not be any additional RFP exploration. In flash votes processed in 2021, 414 respondents rated service quality by Republic Waste at 90%. In 2024, 700 residents, it was 91%.
Thank you, David.
Following Alina will be Hamed Habibi.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Alina. I live in Citrus Heights for over 20 years. I just wanted to share my statement for public services. They do support local community organizations. I am as well as CEO of community-based organizations where we help thousands of members with housing, bills, and just when they move, we need to connect their bills. So we have a lot of interactions with Republic Services, and we do service a lot of bilingual members. A lot of them are Russian and Ukrainian speaking, and they're able to provide information templates that make it very easy for them to understand in their own language and to be a better member in the community. And of course, I do notice them at multiple events where they network with other businesses, which is really, really nice. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Following Hamed will be Garrett Gatewood.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hamid Habibi, and I am a resident of Citrus Heights and also a part of Afghan community. I just want to take a moment to recognize Republic Service for everything they do in our community. They are so much more than just a trash company. They truly care about supporting local community organization and helping our neighborhoods grow stronger. I have also seen how they reach out the Afghan-speaking community, making sure that important information is available for everyone, if the English, even if English isn't their first language. And honestly, you can always find the public at community events in one way or another. They are always there showing their support and giving back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And following Garrett Gatewood will be Amanda Camacho.
So let me just start off by saying you guys are all awesome and everything you do is right. And I don't think you hear that enough. Once again, you guys are awesome and everything you do is right, no matter what anyone says. My name is Garrett Gatewood. I am also one of your counterparts from the city next to you. I wondered why we all had to do the trash contract at the same time. It looks like we signed up at exactly the same time. That makes sense. So here's what's getting ready to go. You probably didn't know this about me, but I was born in Citrus Heights. I went to Skycrest, then Dewey, my dad taught at Salmon High School for 43 years. Mr. Gatewood, if you had him, I apologize in advance. And I love this city. We are known for being very innovative in Citrus Heights. And there's no reason why you shouldn't take this to RFP. Now, we took it to RFP in council, and we had them compete for our business. And I'm not going to tell you who we chose. You can guess, but because that's a business in Rancho. But have them give their best foot forward. If they're the best fit, then they're going to come with the best thing for you guys. There's no reason why. I know staff thinks there's extra money, but in the end, the savings alone, might be a little bit more expensive than you guys, but we also include street sweeping in ours. So you can ask for anything you want. You don't have to go up, Tim. You can keep it at that price because whoever wants the business, I bet you they'll give you the price you want. And the services. And I would also say include education, include scholarships like we did, include everything you want because this is your one chance, especially if you're going to make it a 10-year contract. Make them really compete for you. You'll have 3 or 4 amazing opportunities. I always choose the hyperlocal, but this is the chance for Citrus Heights to really not only maybe even cut costs, but find other services that you guys have always wanted your trash company to provide. Thank you for your time.
Following Amanda will be Colin Wallace.
Hello, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council members, and staff. I'm here today. My name is Amanda Camacho as a local resident. I'm also a small business owner. My family has lived in Citrus Heights for 14 years. We have enjoyed Republic Services. I'll make it very fast. It appears they are the most affordable. They have provided a lot with the community. I see them very much as a resident and as a community member, and I am here to support them tonight.
And following Colin Wallace will be Taylor Brown.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, staff.
My name is Colin Wallace. I'm the General Manager for Republic Services. I've been proudly member of Republic Services for over 11 years. And during that time, it's been a true privilege to partner with the City of Citrus Heights. And I do just want to take a brief moment to thank staff for the effort for not only tonight, but also for the collaboration and professionalism I've seen over the years. Thank you. I also have to give a shout out to my team that has showed up here today. They work diligently every day to make sure that they provide high-class or world-class services to the City of Citrus Heights. And most importantly, they're doing it safely. This is a late night for them. They have an early morning tomorrow morning. So I do want to say thank you to everyone here. And I hope it shows the dedication we have to the city. And then finally, I want to thank all the community members who have come up and spoken on our behalf. Look, I'll make this as brief as I can. We do provide exceptional service. It's shown in the surveys. We're providing unmatched value. We are providing the lowest rates here in the region. We are a leader in sustainability. And as you can hear tonight, we are deeply ingrained into this community. We don't just operate here, we invest in here. And I like that 3 T's, right? Time, treasures, and talents. We do everything we can to give everything we can here to the City of Citrus Heights. I'll close on just that, to me, this is a very clear path forward. I respectfully ask for you guys to enter in the 60-day negotiation period. I view this as a no-risk, high-reward situation. During this time, we will collaborate with the city staff and their consultants. We will share our industry experience, our knowledge, our data, innovative ideas, and we can explore new technologies, new programs that have been talked about, and we can and see what we can do to enhance our services and sustainability. And if we don't come to an agreement, the result is a better RFP for you guys to enter into the streets. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin.
Good evening. My name is Taylor Brown. I'm a resident of Citrus Heights. I've lived here for 3 years as a renter and as a working professional, and I would like to preface with this. Recently, a visit to the Sunrise Mall left me underwhelmed. The mall's empty storefronts and lackluster atmosphere is a stark reminder that even our city's most familiar places can benefit from change. I applaud you all for working hard for real change, and I'm excited about the future of the mall. But just as our local mall needs new tenants coming in to revitalize its atmosphere, our city's services and infrastructure need fresh competition or more options to drive improvement. I can find everything I need at JCPenney's, and I love JCPenney's, but having options is better for business and it's better for the consumer. The city's reliance on a single company for a particular service or contract can be just as stifling as the mall's lack of new tenants. When a single entity has a decades-long monopoly on a service, it could lead to complacency and a lack of innovation and give residents the impression that deals are made in the back room. Each of you on the City Council can take a step towards introducing competition, promoting efficiency, and encouraging innovation by opening up an RFP to interested companies that qualify to provide a service. This change requires more than just recognizing that the City Council can take action. It demands the will to do so. You all are decision makers, and you must be willing to challenge the existing arrangements and take bold steps towards creating a more competitive and innovative environment. As someone who works closely with local governments, implementing competitive bidding processes can be complex and costly, but being open to new ideas and committed to putting the city's interests above any entrenched interests is better for the city and its residents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Those are all of the blue speaker sheets that I have. I do have 2 written public comment that I'll go ahead and read at this time. The first one is received from Susan Powers, and they state, Republic Services is a wonderful company that gives back to the community. I have to say their team that collects our items on a weekly basis have put the smile on the children in my neighborhood and taken the burden of bringing down and taking back up cans for my elderly neighbor. If they are late, I always receive a text and an update when they are on their way. I have never experienced service like this with other companies. I encourage the city to continue using Republic as our provider for waste services. And the next public comment is from Natalie Price, and they state, "I want to begin by acknowledging that Republic Services has been an excellent partner to Citrus Heights. Their reliability, community involvement, and responsiveness are truly appreciated. However, good service alone does not replace the city's responsibility to ensure fiscal accountability, transparency, and best value contracting. When a single provider has held the same contract since 2006, renewing without open competition creates the appearance of institutional complacency and risks overlooking better pricing, updated service models, or innovative technologies that other qualified haulers may offer. A competitive request for proposals is not an indictment of Republic. It is standard best practice for public agencies. It protects taxpayer dollars, validates decision-making, and ensures that all community priorities, including highly requested services such as street sweeping, are thoroughly evaluated across multiple bidders. Open bidding also gives the public confidence that whichever provider is chosen, Republic or another, has earned the contract based on merit, cost effectiveness, and alignment with community needs. Additionally, forcing heavy electric fleets onto deteriorated city roads without examining alternatives could be financially and structurally irresponsible. Competitive proposals allow us to compare CNG, hybrid, and electric options and avoid unintended consequences. For a contract of this magnitude, after nearly 2 decades without competition, not conducting an RFP would be a failure of due diligence and a disservice to residents. I urge the City Council to direct staff to proceed with a full, open, competitive bidding process for the 2028 residential garbage and recycling agreement. And that concludes all of the public comment.
Okay, thank you. Does this raise any other questions you want to ask staff before we comment and start? Any other questions before you? Okay. So I guess, how do you suggest, Mary, we go? Just start with?
Yes, if
on this?
you could provide direction on whether or not you'd like to proceed with a 60-day negotiation, and then if no agreement can be reached, go to an RFP or go directly to an RFP. That would be the first item of business. And then regardless of which way we go, these elements, if you could provide some input.
Any volunteers to go first? You want to go first?
Yeah, I'm going to make some comments.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about, for just before we do the specific elements, whether we want to negotiate or RFP.
Okay.
We'll start with that.
Seems a little backwards, doesn't it?
Isn't that the way you want to go?
We can go the other direction, then talk about the elements and then make the decision.
Elements first?
Okay.
All right, elements first.
If we
Elements
share ideas with each other, we might
Okay.
come to a better agreement, I think.
Okay, you don't want to go first, or don't?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so with regard to the cost of this, if we go for the 50,000 for the 60-day and then another 125,000 after that, when we're looking at the scope of $110 million, that's 1/5 of 1%. That's a small fraction of what I mean, it's really not a significant number. If I had to spend $175,000 on something, it would be a significant number to me. But then putting this all in perspective here, that's really not a huge percentage of the overall of what we might gain. And so there's so many things here that we have an opportunity to really look at. And I think an RFP is a way to do this. And so my opinion is we go straight to an RFP. We don't mess around with the negotiation. We just let it go to an RFP and see who comes out. Maybe Republic comes out the best fit. Maybe, I don't have a horse in this race. I think that I think Republic Services done a wonderful job. I really have no complaints about that. But I think this is good governance to put this out for bid. This is not something that this is one of the biggest contracts we will see probably in my entire time on the council. And I think it deserves good governance and to go to an RFP.
Did you want to talk about elements?
No, I'm done.
You done? I thought you wanted to. Councilmember Nelson.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I am interested in talking about the elements. I didn't hear any specifics on innovation that maybe is out there from other companies, and I'd be curious to know if any of my other council members or staff knows of what those might be.
So I'll let Carrie jump in as well, but things that we have talked about as staff and the consultant team for innovation include, different ways to address our highly congested neighborhoods. You heard from Tony at FCC. We have a Western Placer Waste Management Authority that is working on doing sorting at the site. So maybe there's an opportunity to try a pilot neighborhood where the waste goes directly there and is sorted for a high diversion. It would have to meet the diversion requirements from the state, but it could be something that we looked at as an innovation, so a pilot project.
Is that like would we do a hybrid, so you could have somebody picking up trash the rest of the city, and then you get your pilot project over here?
Right.
doing-
So, for example, a potential condominium community where we have trucks driving in amongst covered parking areas in a condominium community where we have 3 carts. Perhaps that is transformed into a different structure where that material is maybe 2 carts and is going to Western Placer, as an example. There may be other locations that I'm not aware of, but that would be the kind of one kind of innovation. Another kind of innovation that Councilmember Schaefer brought up previously was looking at electrification and different types of vehicles, that perhaps there is an electric vehicle that isn't as heavy as the current electric vehicles out there, or there's one coming online, or there's a way of operating that makes it less impactful to the streets. So that's another type of innovation. And then there may be some technology like Ray Robinson brought up about the AI technology, about doing the material evaluation and targeting our education towards those materials. That's not unique specifically to Republic. Other haulers have those options as well. That's another idea. There's also the opportunity to do interaction with the customers directly, so that instead of using another platform such as Recollect, for example, we are able to use something that is provided by the hauler and have that just direct, instantaneous communication with our residents. So those are just 4 items. We have a lot. This is a time for innovation. These are the days when there's all kinds of ideas and opportunities out there, not specific to either pathway. Either one could elicit those innovations, but those are some examples.
So you would put the innovations in the general discussion of either one, negotiation or
Correct.
RFP. So- okay,
Correct.
so-
We have our ideas, but if we entered into negotiations, we would ask Republic for their ideas. They know what the issues are. They've been operating out here. If we enter into an RFP directly, we could also afford an opportunity, and we've done it in other professional services agreements where we say to the proposer, you tell us what you think would work well here. You tell us what you see out there, and you see how you could solve for those particular solutions. So those are ways we would recommend proceeding.
What does AI do? What's the role AI has in garbage? Do you know?
I've just heard of some of the role of AI, but certainly doing the evaluation, like currently there's an AI software system that's being used when we're doing the auditing, when Republic Services are taking pictures of the material. They're required to do the lid flips. By law, we have to do the audits. They're taking those pictures, that's being analyzed, and that material types are being sent back to the mothership, who is giving direction on how to educate our residents so that they are not putting plastic bags in their recycling or whatever else the issue might be.
I could also envision AI optimizing routes. If we are, if there's on a particular day, if over time, a Tuesday, the 3rd Tuesday of the month happens to be a very high volume month, how do we optimize that? That's all things that AI can look at the data in its entirety and say, yep, okay, on this day, you're going to need an extra truck. And maybe it reduces the amount of time. And thank you for Mary for bringing this up, because I felt like I was going to bring up the steerable rear wheels, because that's something that we kind of have talked about a little bit, because it minimizes the impact, the $2.9 million impact on the roadway. A steerable rear wheel would change how the truck carries its load. And that's something, but I felt like that was going to get too much into the weeds for this discussion. And so that's kind of why I didn't bring it up. But I think these are all things that I think if we all put our heads together, we could really find an optimal solution here. And yeah, I think AI has a lot to offer.
I always thought there ought to be an app that you can shine it to say, I don't know if I can recycle this, and so I have an app and I take a picture and it says, put this into your garbage can, or put this into your green waste can. You know, this is recyclable or not. So, because I think that when people filled out the survey that they want more recycle, I think they're putting stuff in the can that doesn't belong in there. And so it might be, because sometimes those plastic things, the strawberries come in, I think those ought to be recyclable and they're not, right?
Right. That's a great idea for innovation. So noted. And
There's
I
gotta
also
be an app for
think
that.
a lot of people don't realize that we have the cardboard, the flattened cardboard service that folks can put, flattened cardboard at the side of their recycle cart, as long as it's not drifting away from their recycle cart. And that's collected at no additional charge. So that's a service that we've seen when we've talked to the community members, that they didn't realize they had that service available to them.
Continue, please.
Thank you. I asked that question just to make sure that there's not some technology out there that another company is using that Republic isn't using or can't use for whatever reason, like there's some proprietary technology out there in the marketplace.
That I do not know. That would be an answer that would be provided in our innovation if we went out to RFP.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Do you want to talk elements?
The other element that I was interested in that isn't listed here was the program where the driver can take the can up and down for the person, maybe they're
They do that.
elderly
They
and
do that.
yeah, or have disabilities. So I was curious about making sure that all of the residents know about that, some type of marketing campaign or something, so we can get more signups for that.
Great, thank you. Yes, that is a service, as the mayor mentioned, that is available, and you probably knew that too. And we can absolutely target that as part of our next education campaign.
Do they know which people need that? Or how does that work?
People who need it is someone in a household, there can't be anyone in the household who can take the carts out. But if your household doesn't have someone who can, then you are eligible for the program. You just need to contact Republic Services and let them know, and then they'll set you up for it.
If you think of anything else, okay. Councilmember Middleton.
Okay, I don't know how many of my colleagues took the time to read the contract that was between the city of Rancho Cordova and Atlas, but I did.
Well, I didn't get one.
Well, got to go Google. Go to Google and go pull up people's meeting minutes and be nosy, because I'm nosy.
I don't think my printer holds all that paper.
I killed a tree, so we got to plant one, right?
Sure did.
So as I'm going through it and I'm thinking about sending this out to the street, to do an RFP, the concern becomes the best and final offer between your Republic and Atlas ended up being, on average, about 12 cents, right, per household. So that's where I say, well, price is really not negligible. We already have low prices. They're not beating on price. Sending it out to an RFP would really have to be considering community impact. And I thought that sitting here tonight, I'd be like, oh yeah, we're going to hear some stuff about, folks, we don't have enough community involvement. We're not hearing that. We're hearing that we have a ton of it. So let's talk about innovation. Let's talk about where we can improve things. And I think that 60 days is a good opportunity for us to see if we were to implement some of the things that are in this contract. if give Republic the chance to see what they can do. So this is a solid contract. I mean, half the work's already done for us.
What's in there that's something we would?
Well, there's some stuff in there I don't like, but I'm not gonna talk about that.
Well, it's specific elements, so maybe there's something in there that.
The only thing that I could see was like the street sweeping. They do have local recovery, right? So they don't have to drive 133 miles, right? So there are bits and pieces of this that we can take and see what our current provider can do. I'm all about working smarter, not harder for our community. If there's already a roadmap and we kind of got an idea of what's going on, and people in Rancho seem to be mixed reviews, they're kind of.
They've had, just like us, they've had the same provider all this
Right.
time, they just renewed theirs, right? With
They
the same
did.
Guy, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I would lean more to giving an opportunity for 60 days to take a pause and say, hey, right now's your opportunity to tell us out of this contract and whatever else we determine out of all this other stuff, what can you make work? How can we make this even more impactful for our community? Because I haven't heard anything tonight from folks who want us to go out for an RFP to say that this is where the deficit is. No one's saying that it's broken. But I also want to make sure that if we're only paying $34 and some change a month, right, that if we can get more from Republic, that's probably the best way to go. And if we can't get what we want, they can't come back with something that really makes sense and really shows us, hey, we're out there being aggressive. We really want your business. Take it to the street. We already know.
Okay, Vice Mayor.
All right, thank you. In the spirit of fiscal prudence, I always like to look at myself not as somebody who sits here, but someone who sits over there, who sits in my house, looking at my bills every month. And I look at my auto insurance, but for an example, every year. And every year, I've seen my auto insurance go up. Every year, my husband and I, with all due diligence, farm out and compare prices. Because that's what every household does when faced with a big financial decision. Even if you don't change your mind, now you know you have the highest benefit and best value. You've confirmed to yourself, with your limited dollars, that you have the best price. That's all I want to do for our residents, provide transparency. 21 years is a long time for a major contract that for the 10-year renewal is $224 million that Republic has already had for 21 years, $224 million, about. A 10-year term will add another $107 million. I think it's worth the pause to confirm that investment, because it's not only the city's investment, it is our residents' investment. And so I want to make sure, because I like Republic too, this is not about liking. This is about doing the best thing for all of our residents. And so for me, I'm very much a proponent for the RFP process. I think it is consistent with our concepts of fiscal prudence, more importantly, transparency. Competition is very important to fiscal prudence, and so that's where I will go. I would like to encourage an RFP also to answer from the carrier's point of view, innovation. We can't sit here as non-experts in this field and guess at what innovation could be. We've heard from our staff, that's great. The one thing I would love incorporated into the RFP process and included is street sweeping, because we know that is something that all of us would benefit from. And so those would be my comments, and but after 21 years, I think it's time.
All of us don't benefit from street sweeping. I live on a dirt road. So there are a lot of dirt roads in my district. And I just don't, I'd like to see if we did anything to put street sweeping as an add-on and a subtraction, you know, they with or without street sweeping, because I'm not I don't know that I want to pay to sweep the streets of everyone, then I don't get my streets swept. Anyways, I'm kind of torn, you know, because I love Republic Service, as most of the residents in this room does. And I understand the arguments in favor of an RFP. But I think we can have both. And so I'm willing to start with negotiation. And if it doesn't work, I agree with Councilmember Middleton that's where you start, right? And then you can jump to we got till 2028. So you may think it takes a year, but it takes less if the negotiation works, and then you work your kinks out and you fine tune the elements. So it seems to me we could have both. And if you skip the first, you kind of come back to it. So I would start with negotiations, see where it goes. You're not committed to it, and then, you know, you come back to us and say, this is what we've negotiated. Do you like it, or do you want an RFP? And then we go, let's just do the RFP, because then you can add that on if you're unhappy. Republic Service has been just a part of our community, and if they can provide the service, keeping the rates as low as they can, because you look at the comments that came from people, cost was a big thing. You know, it's just keep it low, you can't keep increasing your service above and beyond and keep it low. So people that want more this, more that, are going to pay for it. So what can we get? What can innovation provide? I like the idea of having the compact neighborhood thing. You know, what does that do for the overall negotiation with some of the innovative things that we talked about when we had our 2x2s? I like to see those explored. And so you can do that through negotiation. With RFP, you can't really, because it doesn't all come in at the same time from all the different providers. So there are other providers that might be able to provide part of a service that we don't get now or something, but I trust you, Mary, because you have been with us for 21 years, managing this contract, and you have made all the amendments that our community needed when they needed them. So the contract was amended when we needed to amend it, and so I trust that will happen again. So I'm in favor of starting with negotiation, but won't hesitate to RFP if the negotiations don't come out right.
I have one more comment, Mayor. And this thing about if we send this directly out to an RFP, we can nearly guarantee that we will see a rate increase. Whereas if we negotiate, we could probably minimize that increase. Because at the end of the day, it's about keeping money in the pockets of our residents. We have so many individuals who are on fixed incomes.
And I would think Republic would do that.
Yeah. They should at least, I think they should have the opportunity to try. And I'm with you, Mayor. If they can't do it, I'm ruthless. I already know what I want.
Mary, can you bring up the timeline again?
Yes, I wanted to see that too.
So the timeline is structured so that either way, if negotiations are not successful or if they are, that would be the decision point. So March of 2026 is when an RFP would be issued, regardless if there's an entry into a negotiation period now. So it won't delay us any by doing a negotiation as far as the RFP issuance is concerned.
So this is a both and. Okay, so the timeline does account for, because I know that I have, from what I understand in other negotiations, if a new company were to try and onboard, it's at least a year.
Right.
Of onboarding and preparation, et cetera, with
Right.
our consultants to make sure they're all ready.
Correct. So this process has been structured so that should an agreement not be reached, the RFP would go out in March, which was our plan anyway, to issue it in March. The proposals would be due in May. The committee would convene. Recommendations would be brought to the council in August. If negotiations are successful, that allows a contract to be brought to the council in May. And potentially, if there are any improvements that are no-cost improvements that could be onboarded earlier, then those could come into fruition in July or January of 2027 versus waiting for 2028. Just another potential benefit if the negotiation track is what you choose and it's successful.
I'll just so you know, I calculated out, if 27,000 people pay $515,000 a year to street, she sells seashells by the seashore. If they sweep streets, it comes out to almost $3.50 per bill, because it would be almost $20 a year. So you calculate that? Yeah. Good for you.
No, I did my homework.
You did math.
So, so what was the final idea here?
I'll go ahead and say what I've come up with as well, because I didn't mention an opinion yet.
Okay, go ahead, give us your opinion.
But it seems like I'm in the majority here with maybe 3-2. I would like to go out, or rather not go out, but go to negotiations for the 60-day period and start there and see if we can come up with our dream contract. It's not going to take any more time. We already have the lowest price. We have no complaints, no major complaints, I should say. Great satisfaction from the customers. And what I didn't hear from any of the competitors or people who want us to go out to RFP are any of the problems that exist or any of the miracle solutions that only they have. So with that, I think we should go to negotiations.
I hear 3 negotiations at least, and she's an RFP and you're an RFP, so it's like 3-2.
Okay, so the direction is to move forward with the 60-day negotiations, return to the council with the term sheet. If we can agree upon terms, then move forward and go from there.
Street sweepings, plus and
Street
minus.
sweeping as an option.
Well, you know, it would be unfair to put the bill up higher just due to street sweeping when we don't know what it would be without it. You know, without street sweeping,
Right.
how much does the contract increase to keep the current services?
Right.
Okay.
So what I would request is that as the negotiations start to get formed and finalized, that we have an opportunity on a 2-by-2 level to review and do feedback before we come to council. I don't want it to come to council and then it turns into this. I would rather just not have an abrupt end of, no, this is not acceptable. We want to
I
be
agree, Tim. I think that we
informed
should
along
be,
the way.
I think that we should be trying to shape and tweak it as we go along. That way we're all ensuring that it's going in the direction we want to go.
Absolutely.
And there was no surprises later on.
I would like to just go on record to say that we do not know the universe of possibilities if we are negotiating with one contractor. I still firmly believe an RFP process is the most creative, informative way to go, and I just want to log that in my comments.
So logged.
I believe that, you know what, a free trial that I don't have to pay for necessarily is a good thing. So I'll take a free trial and cancel if I don't like it.
Well, I'm interested in the innovations that Mary has that you'd weave into the negotiation issues so that, because those same things could then go to the RFP once we test them out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I like the idea of keeping us informed at 2-by-2s along the way, especially on elements and things, so we know what's getting tossed in there.
All right, so I'm hearing we're moving forward with negotiations, a couple of checkpoints for 2-by-2s, probably a couple along the way, and
I think listening to the comments in the 404 people that did respond, and that was a very short time period that you got those people responding. It was only on the internet for like a couple hours, so that's pretty cool. So some of the comments were very good.
there's a lot of comments to take to heart.
Yep. Okay, is that it for this item?
I think so.
Are we good? Do you have everything you need? Okay.
Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, Mary. You guys have done a great job and put a lot of work into this, I can see. Next item, please.
Next item is department reports, and there are none. The next item is city manager update.
Can you please keep it down on your way out the door? We're still conducting our meeting. Thank you.
All right, good evening, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the council, Ash Finney, your city manager. I do have a few updates here for you, and we'll go ahead and skip right into the next slide. One, the council received a pro-housing designation from the state, and that resulted in an award of $900,000 last year, and we were able to utilize those funds to help with the Sayonara housing. So they were successful with that once, why not try to renew that? So we are going to go ahead and submit for that renewal. It is something that we want to be transparent about with the community, and pro-housing is around the policies that have been adopted by our council and that are embraced by the state. So we have a website that's set up that showcases our application. There you can see the website listed on this slide. Our current designation would expire on January 1st of 2026. So we're looking to get that renewed, and hopefully we get some additional funds to use here in Citrus Heights.
Well, knowing our terrific staff is writing great applications, we'll probably get some.
Red Ribbon Week, speaking of tongue twisters.
That's street sweeping, too.
Yeah. So this, as many are aware, that's kind of a long-standing tradition of promoting the drug-free choices for youth and others. So Citrus Heights PD was out in the community along with Sacramento County Probation celebrating our local schools. So I wanted to kind of highlight some of the work that they were doing. There's all kinds of good swag that promotes a positive message in the life of youth. Our dispatchers also did a little show and tell about their work, and it's just the Just Say No campaign. As our police officers communicated in the community, those decisions can really have impacts in their lives. So a lot of positive messaging was done, and it was a great opportunity to connect with youth as well. Trunk or treat. So oftentimes when we're doing these updates, more often than not, they're always forward-looking. But a look back at trunk or treat, it was huge. I mean, this was the biggest one yet. There was about 5,000 community members. I mean, it was popping into the wee hours, so to speak. So really grateful to PAL and Sunrise Christian Food Ministry, who did a lot of work on getting non-perishable food as well that is going to be able to be distributed for those that are having some food insecurity at this time. They actually, as part of Trunk or Treat, they didn't just pass out candy, but they actually took in 402 pounds of food that can then be distributed here in the community. So it was a little give and take, so to speak, but it's all giving in the end. A lot of fun that night. I know members of the council were there and saw a lot of the great costumes and the smiles on people's face, and I'm sure next year will even be bigger.
Missing a picture of the bumblebee.
Yeah, actually, I did have council member Schaefer. I was here at the community meeting that night. That was kind of here in the chamber with Supervisor Rodriguez, but I was very impressed with council member Schaefer's costume. That was one for the ages, for sure.
He told me he was a Yellow Jacket and that I had to call mosquito vector control.
Well, he made it out safely, fortunately.
It's a good story.
Another positive story, we reported out at State of the City a lot of the work that's happening here locally. I mean, at the outset of this meeting, there were some discussions about some of the challenges that are happening around trying to help people that are unhoused break the cycle of homelessness. And in the region, that's a real struggle. Here in Citrus Heights, we have made some great strides through policies that the city council has adopted, using our local funding, our local efforts to really make great efforts in trying to get people housing and improve our community. And it's working. We talked about it a lot at State of the City. But our just last week, and we're thinking about Veterans Day, we had another successful story where we had a Marine veteran that was helped, and they are taking recovery services and housing, and it's just a big testament to our team that never gives up and is always looking to help people. And so I just want to special thanks to our team as well as the other agency partners that are involved in this effort. So just on the heels of Veterans Day, felt we wanted to share that story. We have some animal activities coming up. That was another strategic objective of councils on making some advancements on how we're delivering our animal services. So we have a Chip Chip Hooray, and this is one where we're going to be teaming up actually too with one of our local vets, Sylvan Pet Hospitals, at one of the events here. So the one that's nearest to us is Saturday, November 15th. That's going to be at the 7569 Old Auburn Road, which is the future site of our Animal Services Enhancement Center. And so there will be a Walk-ins Welcome for chipping events. All the parking needs to occur on our site at the city. So if you're coming, please make sure that you're parking in the appropriate place. And then we need to have dogs, leash, and cat carriers. Pet licensing is also available and will be encouraged. And you can see more information is listed on this slide. There's a lot on this slide, so I'm not going to repeat it all out to you. But if you're not able to make the November 15th event at Old Auburn Road, there's going to be another one in December on Antelope, and then in January on Auburn as well. So all this information is located on our webpage, but we also appreciate Sylvan Corners Pet Hospital partnering with us on this event, which is our neighbor right across the street. We do have some holidays coming up. Thanksgiving, we will not be having our November 26th City Council meeting as people will be enjoying the Thanksgiving holidays. City Hall will be closed in observance of the holiday on the 27th and 28th. And then our next City Council meeting will be on December 10th. And we have one more event before the next City Council meeting. It's our annual tree lighting. This is always a hit with the community, grows and grows every year. So our staff really puts a lot of their heart and soul into this. I mean, and the community does too. I mean, we have children's choirs, we have the community marching band out there, lots of cocoa and cookies. I don't know how many gallons, but I know it's a voluminous amount. There's train rides, there's snow, there's all kinds of fun. So turn out, make sure that that your wishes for the holidays are articulated, and that can all happen here at the City Hall campus on December 4th from 6 to 8:30 p.m.
Last year, staff did a tremendous job decorating everything in the City Hall. It was nice. Did a good job.
Yeah, talented team, that's for sure. They do a fantastic job with this, and look forward to celebrating it with the City Council and the larger community. But that concludes my updates. We've got a lot going on at this time of year.
Thank you so much. Next item?
Next item is items requested by council members, future agenda items, and we do have one item, number 15, the discussion of Senate Bill 79, housing development.
I think our attorney was going to give us a little bit of.
Yes, I'd be happy to do that. Madam Mayor and Vice Mayor, members of the council, Ryan Jones, your city attorney, wanted to update that the council did request that we discuss further SB 79. This is the transit-oriented development law that was passed, and it will go into effect the middle of next year. And what it would do, would authorize high-density housing within a half a mile of transit-oriented development areas. And so there is obviously a balance there between, planning policy with local control. So regardless of what you may feel about whether this is good policy or not, it is potentially an infringement on local control, and it may be something that the council would like to undertake. They could potentially, issue a proclamation or write your assembly, or you can join in on, there is a lawsuit tangentially related to this that is potentially going to the United States Supreme Court, and the law firm looking to do that is looking for support from other jurisdictions in the amount of $2,500 to join that. And if that's something the council wants to do, we could join for a relatively low amount. But it's really up to you. And Councilmember Schaefer, I know you were the one who had addressed this. If you have any comments for your colleagues, this would be a good time.
Well, I'd like to move that we do join.
Councilmember, could you please?
Thank you. I would like to move that we support the America's Beef Brief and with the $2,500 investment.
Second.
Okay, I just want to say that this is not to get rid of SB, whatever. It's to support the brief that allows.
Allows cities to sue the
state on federal
federal court on federal constitutional law issues, yes.
Okay, so moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none?
I'll let them know.
It's a small investment for a potentially big cause, yeah. I'd like to see a list of all the other cities that are joining this. That would be cool. See what we're in with.
I'll work on that.
Okay, anything else? Does anybody have any future agenda items they want to bring forth? Give staff a break over Christmas, over Thanksgiving, yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Any other items today?
There are none.
Then I'm going to adjourn our meeting.